precipice of securing that 2 seed for the upcoming Calder Cup playoffs. There are still 4 games left in Steamtown season before the postseason arrives, including this matchup here against Cleveland, who comes into tonight with a record of 35-25, 6-2, 78 points, places them 3rd in the North Division. After a ceremonial puck drop with some park rangers from the Steamtown National Historic Site, who we do have to give a big shout out to for their help in helping us put on the 4th installment of our community night presented by Visit Luzerne County. We see the Gandy Dancers trying to start hot here with their Motor World starting lineup. Right from the get-go, they're turning to Sebastian Aho and Finn Harding on the back end, and then some steel-driven men at forward. These are the tone setters, Nolan Renwick, Zach Gallant, and the Bokomotive, Boko Imama. Teams approach center ice for opening puck drop. Cleveland countering with Guillaume Richard and Dyson Mayo as their starting defenders. Hudson Fashing, Justin Pearson, and Jack Williams, the starting forwards. Steamtown going to try to bring the hammer down on the Monsters, and this one begins with a face-off win for the Gandy Dancers. We're underway in NEPA with Aho shuttling things through center, tipped by Renwick, so no icing here. Quickly pursued by Boko Imama. Imama trying to chop it to the point. Received a game misconduct and the team's loss on Thursday, but hot to trot to start this one. Flushed back towards Steamtown territory. Aho is going to swivel it over to the right for Harding. Back up ice for Imama. Touchdown to the right corner of the Monsters' end. Mayo eats a check from Zach Gallant. Pushed back towards the point, but stepping in front of that is number 24, Justin Pearson for Cleveland. Monsters going to dump and change. Pearson, lone man up on the forecheck, rattles the boards by finishing a check on Harrison Brunick. Brunick accepts that pressure, tapped it over to Alex Alexiev. Now gets some back pressure here from Renwick. Penguins able to scrape it out to center. Brought forth by the smooth skating Harrison Brunick, driving on his backhand down the left wing. Checked off by Mayo. Jumping up in the forecheck, Jack Russell. Puck gonna dribble back to the Steamtown zone. Thrown up to the point. Now it's Gabe Clausen handling it here. Pardon me, that wasn't Russell, that was Mikhail Elian getting a shift here with Clausen and McDonough right from the start. Meanwhile, they're going to have to play some defense. Brought back ahead by Luca Pinelli. He's been hot lately for the Monsters, but doesn't get a chance to test Yoel Blomqvist. Both teams still looking for the first shot in this contest. Driving back behind the Monsters' net, Tanner Howe. Lost control as he was smothered by the Monsters' defense. Brought up ice now by Michal Putia. 18 goals on the season for the Finnish forward of the Monsters, including back-to-back 2-goal games. Both of these clubs coming off of post-regulation losses. Cleveland losing on Monday in a shootout at home to Rochester. Steamtown losing Thursday night in overtime to Bridgeport. Aaron Huglin missed that Thursday game, but back returning from an injury here for Steamtown. Jumps up on the forecheck, drives a shoulder into the Monsters' defense. Cleveland able to break it out to center, but it's hounded down by Rafael Harvey-Pinard. Harvey-Pinard with a back pass to Aho. Handled now by Finn Harding. Harding compiling a 5-game point streak. Best of his rookie season. 1 goal, 4 assists in that time for Harding. Puck dished in by Sebastian Aho. Goes off the paddle of Sawchenko. They're going to credit that as the first shot of the game for Steamtown. Meanwhile, counterattack coming from Cleveland. Hunter McCown renders it down the right side boards. Picked up in the corner by Harding. Flipped to the left side hash mark. Detected first by Cleveland. Laid down low by Riley Bizzo. First time Steamtown has seen him in their season series. This is the 4th and final matchup between these clubs this year. Mayo at the point. Slides it to the left. Shot taken. Block. Skips back to Mayo at the right point. His drive, then blockered away by Yoel Blomqvist. Seizing it are the Monsters. Pass in front. Guillaume Richard looking for a backdoor play. Rattles wide. Now Blomqvist able to clamp down at the side of his crease. Draws the whistle. I believe that is our first whistle of the contest, coming 3 minutes and 1 second in, with these shots right now even 1-1. Tonight's presenting sponsor is Coors Light, colder, cleaner, and crisper for those who thirst for more. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Also our referees for tonight's game. You see Andrew Bell and Mike Dietrich out here wearing the orange armbands, and Tommy George and John Ray are our linesmen this evening. Fourth installment of our Community Night Series put on by the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. They are 2-0-1 in these Community Night games. playing as the Old Forge Pizzas, Pittston Tomatoes, and Carbondale UFOs in seasons past. Last year winning as the UFOs. Nolan Renwick scored his first AHL goal in that one. Icing called here against Renwick and the Gandy Dancers is going to bring the faceoff back to Blomquist's side of the equation. Ilya Blomqvist on a 4-game win streak himself and 8-1-1 in his last 10 decisions. Puck control by Cleveland. One to the point. Stanislav Svozil rifles one wide of Blomqvist's net. Flipped up into the air by Steamtown. Chopped away from Imama. Then hounded down by Nolan Renwick. Trying to speed out of the Steamtown zone. Caught from behind by Monsters captain Brendan Gauntz. Renwick tending to his defensive responsibilities after that. Able to thwart the Monsters' entry. Now Imama brings it forth. Charges across the blue line. Sidewinders left to right. Then gets tamed down. Referee's whistle stay pocketed, much to the chagrin of this crowd. But Imama now back on his feet as Gauntz will pass it board to board in the neutral zone. Luca Pinelli walks from left to right. Whiffed on his pass attempt. That's going to be snatched up by Gabe Clausen. Steamtown advances. Mikhail Ilian button hooks at the left boards. Drops to Pickering. His shot goes wide. Bounces over to Chase Pietila. He takes a hit. Leaves it for Mikhail Ilian. 21-year-old Russian forward. Lost the handle. Dribbles across the blue line. Now knife back to the Steamtown zone. Jack Williams on top of it. Short side shot. Hits off the side of the net. Jack Williams with 14 goals this season. His rookie campaign. 6-game point streak coming into this one, the longest of his career. Blomqvist going to make a glove save with Williams trying to set the screen in front. Clock stops with 15:42 still left to go here in this first period. It's a 7-game point streak for Steamtown. They were right on the cusp of making it a 7-game winning streak before things fell apart in the third period on Thursday. But the Gandy Dancers have won 3 straight at home. Chance to make it their longest point streak of the season. They started the year 7-0, then a regulation loss here at home stalled that point streak. Gandy Dancers quickly at work in the offensive zone. However, a point pass by Hughlin, intercepted by Hudson Fashing. Comes back to Sebastian Aho at the Gandy Dancers' end. Aho creeps out from behind the net, darts it to the right for Harding. Tried to be elevated in off the stick of Tanner Howe. Instead, it's going to matriculate backwards to Harding. 21-year-old rookie to Aho. Now back to Harding again. Wants Howe. Knocks it from the left over to the, or pardon me, from the right to the left side corner. Brings Russell ahead on the forecheck, point in his pro debut. The puck is scored out by Cleveland. Slapped towards Blomqvist's crease, handled by the netminder, keeps it in play. Monsters battle for it behind the Gandy Dancers' cage. Brunick trying to get out of dodge, and he does. Held at the blue line, and a quick shot taken, kicked away by Blomqvist. Denied Guillaume Richard. Eats a ton of minutes for Trent Vogelhuber's Monsters here in his first season of professional hockey. Puck stolen away at center by Sillinger. Brings a shot onside. His wrister goes wide to the far post. Collected again by Cleveland in the neutral zone. 5.5 minutes played here in this first period. Shots are 4-1 in favor of Cleveland, and they've had a couple of other shot attempts that have whizzed wide of Blomqvist's crease. Sawchenko going to get a touch here after a dump in by Steamtown, and it's ripped right out by the Monsters netminder. McCown backtracking here on Renwick, reverse to Richard. Now given up to Riley Bezo, former Charlotte checker. Tape-to-tape pass brings Svozil onside. Shot fought off by Blomqvist, in and out of his mitt. Steamtown handles the rebound. Laid to center. Imama, backhand forehand. Now chips it from the penalty boxes down to the left side corner of the Monsters' end. Gallant throws a big shoulder into the body of Stanislav Svozil, but the Monsters navigate their way out of the zone. Shot from distance, waffle boarded away by Blomqvist. Now it's Clausen. Knifes one through to Aiden McDonough. First player to 40 points this season for Steamtown. Leaves it for Lee in right boards. Trying to shimmy away from the Monsters' defense, but is behind the back pass. Thwarted by Cleveland. Bezo gains the red line and dumps it deep. Blomqvist twirls it behind his back. On the breakout, Harding to Elian. Now slides it to Clausen, right wing. Try to return pass to Elian. Didn't find it. Now it's kicked out. A little exchange of some soccer plays there between Harding and Gauntz. Forces Steamtown to regroup. Rink wide pass. Found by Harding. Soft shot. Goes off the paddle of Sawchenko. Left free for an open defender, Luca Pinelli. Always have to remind folks whenever Steamtown's playing the Monsters that there is a Luca Pinelli and a Luca Morelli on this team. Try to keep that as straight for you as we can, but no, you're not hearing double. That is the case. 53 is Pinelli, 54 is Morelli. Their other Luca Del Bel Belluz, currently up in the NHL with the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's their leading scorer. Meanwhile, Rucker McRory, Ville Koivunen, and Joona Koppanen all called up to Pittsburgh ahead of their matchup today against the Washington Capitals. Avery Hayes, another game in the NHL with Pittsburgh today as well. 12 minutes left here in this first period in Northeast Pennsylvania. Huglen's dumping, stalled at first, hit off the body of Harvey Pinard. Now Huglen rides a jet stream up to it in the left corner, cycles it over to the right. Harvey Pinard chasing after it, so is Calvert. Calvert drives it off the wall, blade in front for Huglen. His floater punched away by Sawchenko. Aaron Huglen coming off of that career best hat trick and 4-point performance against the Lehigh Valley Phantoms last Sunday. Huglen was convinced that his third goal, the hat trick clincher, was going to get changed to Finn Harding on an official scoring change. That scoring change never came, so it's still Huglen's hat trick. However, an offside call against the Monsters is going to bring the ice crew out here at Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. So we'll step aside and take a break. No goals yet between the Gandy Dancers and Monsters on WILK News Radio.
Local news, sports, and original
30 seconds.
Right to your smart TV. Introducing the 2822 Now app, a new way to stream live 2822 news. Plus exclusive programming like the Mahalashek Files and 2822 Sports Night. Powered by WBRE 28 and WYOU 22. It's everything you love, streaming right to your living room.
10 seconds.
2822 Now app on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV. Just search 2822 and start watching today. Sponsored by the Pocono Mountains.
You're up.
0-0 score here between Steamtown and Cleveland. 4 games at home to wrap up this regular season for the Gandy Dancers. Next week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, all home games. The Hershey Bears in town on Wednesday. The Bridgeport Islanders coming to town on Friday, 7:05 p.m. puck drops for both of those games. And then Fan Appreciation Night to conclude this 2025-26 season, taking place Saturday the 18th, 6:05 p.m. start time for that one. To get your tickets, call the team's front office, 570-208-PENS, WBSPenguins.com, Ticketmaster.com, and the Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza box office, all viable options to secure your seats as well. The Gandy Dancers are hoping that those 3 games don't mean much in terms of the standings, as they have a chance to lock themselves into the 2 seed here tonight. Meanwhile, a delayed call upcoming to Cleveland as Ansons roars behind the Monsters' net. Hard pass to the blue line, collected by Pietila, driven back to Ansons. Now drifted down to the left circle. Daniel Russell given to Aho up high. Extra attacker out now for Steamtown. It's McDonough through the slot. Russell shoots, and he's stopped by Zach Sawchenko. Daniel Russell had an assist in the first period of his first pro game. Almost got his first pro goal right there. A nice feed from McDonough, however, Sawchenko ready for it, and after that stop, Tate Singleton sent to the penalty box, giving Steamtown the first power play of the game. Gandy Dancers man advantage and even 16% on the season. 25th in the league. Cleveland, 82.6% on the penalty kill, which is 12th overall in the American Hockey League. This Cleveland team was kind of hovering around 500 until late January. They took off with a really hot run, which included a lot of goal scoring as well. Cooled off a little bit since then, but already clinched in their playoff spot. They're not too hyper concerned about it, though they're only 2 points up on the 4-seed Marlies. They want to avoid the best of 3 just as much as Steamtown. Their penalty kill starts with a face-off win and clear. Power play here for the Gandy Dancers has Aiden McDonough bring things on side. Leads the team with 8 power play goals. Took a hit, puck knocked loose, but Harvey Pinard tracked it down. Now a battle for it in the right side corner. Pried loose, back for Steamtown. Aho shot up high, blocked in front. Elian behind the back pass, connects with Raphael Harvey Pinard. However, two defenders converge on Harvey Pinard. Aggressive penalty killing here for Cleveland works out as they steal the puck and slap it all the way back to Blomqvist. Had to drop into the butterfly for an extra save there. 1:13 remaining in the IBEW Nika power play. Aho taking things coast to coast, trying to cut around the defense. Poke check came out at the last moment from Corson Kuhlmans. Meanwhile, the puck ringed around the attacking zone by Steamtown. Centering pass, stopped by Svozil and cleared by the Czech defenseman. Aho grabs it back at the top of the circles in the Gandy Dancer zone, but we'll leave it for Huglin as 5 new power play skaters come out here for Steamtown, including Harrison Brunick. 6 straight games with a point in the AHL for Brunick. Gave it over to Clausen. He's on a 5-game point streak himself. Over a point per game in his last 9. Clausen to the point. Puck wouldn't cooperate for Brunick. Bounced over his blade. Brunick being chased down from behind here by Hunter McCown. Brunick successfully shields the puck. Now turns away from 2 defenders. Brunick circling behind the net. Tries to pass in front. Hits off of a skate. Pops up in the air. Russell finds it. Carousels it back to the right side point. Brunick standing there. To Clausen. Now at the side of the net. Huglin redirected one off the side of the cage. Clausen back to the blue line for Brunick. Fumbled it. That turns into an offside call here against Steamtown with 7 seconds left in the man advantage. Harrison Brunick, like a hot knife through butter, right around 2 defenders for Cleveland. They thought they had the young defenseman all bottled up with nowhere to go, and then he just shot out of there, not just unscathed, but still with possession of the puck as well. It's the impressive transition play of Harrison Brunick, which we've come to see in a handful of games in Northeast Pennsylvania, also 9 games in the NHL with Pittsburgh to start the year. We'll hear from Harrison Brunick in our upcoming Coors Light intermission report. He'll be my guest during the first intermission. We have 9 minutes left to go here in this first period. Icing called here against Steamtown as the Monsters have gotten Singleton out of the box. They're back to full strength. Still a 0-0 score here between the Gandy Dancers and Monsters. Renwick to face off here against Gauntz. Pulled backwards by the rookie Renwick. Renwick had a brief stint in Wheeling, 2 games reassigned and had an assist in both of those games. Now Gallant runs over one of the defenders for Cleveland. Shot from the left wall, blocked in front. Former Penguin Will Butcher is going to tap this one out towards the blue line. Sillinger couldn't get it out at first. Now Butcher with it again. Saucer pass, connects with Pinelli. Angled off the penalty box doors back to the Gandy Dancer zone, and a quick chance after a turnover. Big save there for Yoel Blomqvist, denying Sillinger right from the hash mark. After a lackadaisical pass behind the back by Steamtown, put one on a platter there for Sillinger. Steamtown back in the offensive zone here as Alian couldn't detect McDonough. Now a hard feed to the blue line, splits between both Pickering and Clausen. Will get shuttled all the way back to the Gandy Dancer zone. Pickering parked behind the net. Now saunters out, passes over to Chase Pietala. Sent in by the 22-year-old rearguard. Sawchenko stalls the puck behind his net. Off the skates of number 26, Guillaume Richard, and springs things up ice. A 3-on-2 for Cleveland. McCown trying to throw one through the seam. Tipped into the air by the back-checking Gandy Dancers. Clausen tries the counter-attack, but lost the puck in his skates. Dyson Mayo pulls it back for Cleveland. They're across the blue line. McCown to Mayo in the slot. Backhand try, blocked by Daniel Russell. Now a 2-on-1 for Steamtown. Russell handles the Mayo, shoots, kick save, rebound, they score! Atlee Calvert there to shovel it in. First strike of the night belongs to Steamtown. Daniel Russell blocked the shot, and as soon as that puck settled for him, he took off. Started running down the tracks the other way, the 2-on-1. He was stopped, but that's a smart play by Russell. The old pass off the pad, shooting low off the far pad of the goaltenders in hopes that, hey, if you don't beat him on the first shot, it's going to create a big rebound. That's exactly what happened for Atlee Calvert, who cranks back his spike maul and throws that one across the goal line for the 1-0 Steamtown lead. 2 games in the pros for Russell. An assist in both of the first periods of those 2 pro games. And Russell has it again. Traverse City, Michigan native with a rink-wide feed. Knocked down by Aho. thrown back into the attacking end. Calvert cycles it all the way around the boards from the right corner back to the left point. Ansons takes a tap pass from Aho. Catapults it down to the right corner, chased down by Harding. Reversed over to the left, but no one there for the Gandy Dancers now. It's knocked out to center by Cleveland. Gandy Dancers wearing green and yellow uniforms. Not too different from what they normally sport as the Penguins, but these are inspired by the Baldwin 26 at Steamtown. Here's 22 Howe in front, looking for Harvey Pinard off of his foot and wide. Alexiev jumps up to keep the Monsters trapped in their zone for the moment. Backwards pass by Cleveland. Sees Stanislav Svozil with it behind his cage. 23-year-old defenseman finds Pultia at the blue line. Now Pinelli gains the red line, knifes it deep. Lundqvist out from behind his cage, paddles it ahead to Alexiev. Slowed down by Pultia, but then reeled in again by Steamtown. 6:10 left to go here in this first period. Cleveland leads in shots, 8-7, but Atlee Calvert, his third straight game with a goal, as the Gandy Dancers up 1-0. Pietila to Harvey Pinard, breaking in down the right wing. Harvey Pinard with 19 goals on the season, too shy of tying his career best with the Laval Rocket back in the 2021-22 season. Doesn't do much on that offensive zone stay. Here's Morelli with a shot. The defenseman engaging in the play, but a right pad stopped by Yoel Blomqvist. Reverse play to the blue line by Cleveland. Cut off by Tanner Howe. Sent to the far blue line. Quickly whipped back to Steamtown zone. Blomqvist plays it over to his right. Pietila takes a hit from the forechecker. Gives it up to Boko Imama. Imama, 29-year-old forward for Renwick. Drop back to Zach Gallant on the rush. Backhand pass, wanted Imama. He was nicely marked by a back-checking Roman Ashan. Gallant still throwing his weight around out here for Steamtown. Renwick going to force a turnover. Puck comes to Imama, hits the brakes at the right wall, plays it to the point. Wrist shot taken, blocked in front. Layered screen there by Gallant and Renwick, but never made it through their bodies to Sawchenko. Another delayed call upcoming here as one of the Monsters was thrown down on the rush. That's going to be an interference call against Steamtown. Gandy Dancers going to have to play on the penalty kill when we return, but they have a 1-0 lead on WIOK News Radio.
Aim for
60 seconds.
Day. 5 servings of fruit and vegetables. 4 positive affirmations. 3 belly laughs. 2 hours or less of recreational screen time. 1 hour of outdoor activity, and 0 sugary sweetened beverages. Small changes lead to big gains in the long run. Have fun and take charge of your health by joining the Zing 543-210 movement at geisinger.org/zing. That's geisinger.org/zing.
From the very beginning, we're all about being connected. And year after year, through every stage of life, that need grows even stronger. Which is why Penn Teledata never stops improving our advanced fiber network. We connect the things that matter most. Businesses, schools,
10 seconds.
governments, and of course, the people who make our community strong. This is technology with a purpose. Stay connected with Penn Teledata.
You're up.
Well, we teed things up for tonight's game between the Gandy Dancers and the Monsters as, hey, a regulation win for Steamtown locks them into the number 2 seed in the Atlantic Division. They get a bye. They don't have to deal with the best of 3 opening round. There was also a scenario that was, hey, if the Charlotte Checkers lose in regulation to the Hershey Bears, that would also lock the Gandy Dancers into the 2 spot. Well, they dropped the puck much earlier than us down at the Biscuit, and Hershey has beaten Charlotte in regulation 2-1. So that 2 seed is clamped down for the Gandy Dancers, but they haven't gotten the news. They're worried about this penalty kill as a quick shoulder save by Yoel Blomqvist will send the puck over the wall, denying Mikhail Pultia. Pultia up to 46 points this season. He was their main source of offense and really getting them a point against Rochester on Monday. Not 1, but 2 goals with the netminder pulled for an extra attacker to force OT. Big comeback by Cleveland, but they did lose in the shootout. It was a shot by Morelli from the point. That's once again eaten up by Yoel Blomqvist.
Harding, 2 minutes of interference, time of the penalty, 15:03. It's Gandy Dancers penalty on Finn Harding for 2 minutes interference at 15:03.
So the price chopper mark at 32. Penalty kill goes on here. 20th in the league, Steamtown's PK. Monsters power play also 20th in the AHL, 17.5%. Monsters win another face-off, pass it around the perimeter, off the left wall to Putia. The top of the left circle, shuttles one high over the net. Morelli able to keep things on side, back and forth passing between he and Pinelli. Morelli now renders it to the left. Putia into the slot. Williams, a drive, gets tipped wide. Pinelli settles things at the right side hash. Back and forth again with Morelli. Pinelli, OHL product, does a little give and go down low. Couldn't receive the return pass. That allows Calvert to snatch it and sweep it 200 feet the other way. Price chopper mark at 32. Penalty kill halfway gone here for Steamtown. Morelli rolls out of his zone, slingshots it backwards. Brought onside here by Cleveland. Ashan, dish to the point. Will Butcher out now. Specialist in these man advantage situations, quarterbacking things from the blue line. Over it's Sillinger, waltzing with the puck in the right corner. Given to the point for Will Butcher, former Texas star, to the left. Ashan down below the goal line. Hunter McCown looking to get it back to Butcher, but miscalculated to bounce off the boards. Goes all the way down the ice for Sawchenko. Gandy Dancers try to change, but it's quick ups and a shot by McCown. Fought off by Blomqvist. Great pass by the goaltender Sawchenko to create that opportunity for McCown. Blomqvist locked in, however, here for Steamtown. 11 seconds left in the power play. 3:05 left in the first period overall. Shot from the point, tipped on goal. Another save by Blomqvist. Rebound found and cleared by Rivas Ansons. Quick transition again here by the Monsters. Brings them across the blue line, but an errant pass across the way. Sees it trickle across the threshold to center. Gandy Dancers back to full strength. It's McCown from the left boards to the right. Jack Williams in front. Kick save by Blomqvist. Man driving to the crease was Dyson Mayo. Couldn't get a piece of it. Now here comes Steamtown. Imama rips it through the body of Sawchenko, but it ends up wide. Gallant, another thunderous hit along the boards. Puck pops loose for Boko Imama. Swirls to the right wall. Finds Harding up high. Shot tipped wide of the goal by Renwick. Gallant still jockeying for position at the net front, but it looks like the Monsters are going to find a way out of their zone. They pull the escape rope as the puck is knocked away from Hudson Fashing. Reeled in by a back-checking Gallant. Imama tried to play it deep on his backhand, but he inadvertently shoveled it into the curved boards at the end of the Monsters bench. That is technically out of play. So with that whistle, we'll step aside for another break. After that successful penalty kill, Gandy Dancers maintain their 1-0 lead here on WILK News Radio.
Hi, Wayne Vance.
30 seconds.
If you're looking for a diamond engagement ring, diamond earrings, diamond necklace, diamond bracelets, or any diamond item, you must come to Vanscoy's Diamond Mine on Monday Street at Wilkes-Barre. You'll see the largest selection, get the best price, and the fastest service. We offer layaway or 1-year interest-free financing. So
10 seconds.
Penguins shop. That's Vanscoy's Diamond Mine on Monday Street in Wilkes-Barre, just below the Wyoming Valley Mall. That's on Mundy Street. Mundy Street on Mundy Street.
You're up.
At PNC Bank, they've always taken a boring approach to handling your money. But not only is that smart, it's reliable. And as the official bank of the Gandy Dancers, why would they ever want to be unreliable with anyone's money? They just think that boring is the smartest way to ensure your money is there for the exciting things in life. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank National Association member, FDIC. If you've made it this far into our broadcast and you've repeatedly asked the question, what the heck is a Gandy Dancer? Here's a quick explainer. It was the nickname given to the men who were working on the railroad, pardon the expression, laying the steel, maintaining the tracks, putting the hammer down on the nails, driving the spikes in, sometimes even curating the gravel on which the steel tracks were resting. There's a shot by McDonough that's denied by the chest of Zach Sawchenko. Rich railroading history here in Northeast Pennsylvania, dating back to the railroading boom of the 1800s. Steamtown National Historic Site, a U.S. National Park right in Scranton, pays tribute to that history as well. Thus the Steamtown Gandy Dancers, the moniker this year for the Penguins Community Night, presented by Visit Luzerne County. Puck going to be swiveled out of the Gandy Dancers zone here, but bounces away from Butcher. The trailing linesman says, you know what? Probably could have made a harder charge towards that puck. So play continues here. No icing called. Butcher, tape-to-tape pass for Morelli. Tried to angle it off the bench doors at the Gandy Dancers bench. Didn't get very far. Howe's going to knock it down. Former captain of the Regina Pats, where he was a teammate of Monsters defenseman Stanislav Svozil. Puck lifted up into the air, into the crowd from the Monsters defensive zone, and it looks like everyone on the same page here. That is going to be puck over glass, delay of game against Will Butcher. So another penalty called against Cleveland here, this time with 49 seconds left in the first. Gandy Dancers up 1-0. Chance to add to that lead before the first intermission, though, as we all know how this works. In the event that Steamtown doesn't score before the buzzer sounds in 49 seconds, the remaining power play time carries over to the start of the second period. Calvert with their goal so far. And Calvert out to take the face-off, wins it to the wall, and then pitchfork back to the point by Elian. McDonough carries that cargo with the left boards. Play to the goal line. Calvert trying to make a slick play down low, but a snazzy glove save made by Zach Sawchenko. Gives a little tap to the shin guard of Calvert after the fact, as if to acknowledge, hey, that was a good try, but I'm one better. Calvert to take another face-off. Last one was at the right. This one's going to be on the left. Right-handed centerman here for Steamtown. Pulls up, ties up his opponent. Puck knocked free by Elian, trickles down to the left corner. Calvert tied up by a defender, but the clearing attempt stymied by McDonough. Elian from the right wall, snaps it to the point. Aho to McDonough, dangles around the defense of Williams, returns it to Aho. Right side of the blue line, traipses left, and then feeds Elian on the right again. Aho, top of the key, down low into the skates of Harvey Pinard. Kicks it from his skate to his stick. Wanted Calvert on the back door, but the puck bounced over his blade. McDonough to Calvert again along the goal line. Behind the back, Harvey Pinard. Sawchenko with another stop. Stops the clock with 5.9 left in the first as well. That pass out of the corner right in the wheelhouse of Raphael Harvey Pinard, but Sawchenko got across, hugged the post too. Wanted to make sure more than anything he wouldn't be beaten to the short side, and took that one right into that Monsters logo on his chest. Clausen going to try to win this draw for Steamtown. Once again, 5.9 remaining, so not a lot of time left in the period. Puck pulled to the left boards. McDonough trying to chisel it back to the point. Instead, his stick tied up, and well, that'll do it for the first period here on this community night presented by Visit Luzerne County. And the Steamtown Gandy Dancers jump out to a 1-0 lead on the Cleveland Monsters. Daniel Russell with another assist, and Atlee Calvert finds Twine for the third straight game. Calvert now up to 14 tallies on the season, his 14th of which has his team up 1-0, despite the fact that they were outshot by the Cleveland Monsters 14-11. Steamtown will have a minute and 11 seconds of carryover power play time whenever they return for the start of the second period, but that comes after our first Coors Light intermission report. And when we do come back, you listeners out there are going to be treated to a sit-down chat between myself and Gandy Dancers defenseman Harrison Brunick. That's coming right around the bend here on WILK News Radio. The Penguins Kids Club, presented by Long Live Playtime, is back for the 2025.
3 minutes.
Alrighty, brother. This is straight in, straight out. Whenever we do return, it's going to be a pretty quick one. But I'll talk to you then. Your choice of two.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, sir. An ice skating pass, a day pass for Long Live Playtime in Edwardsville, an exclusive Penguins event, and more, all for only $25. Open to all Pens fans 14 and under. Sign up at WBSPenguins.com or at any Penguins weekend home game. Let's go, Pens.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Geisinger, the official healthcare provider for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, helps keep our players at the top of their game. Whether they get injured on the ice, need additional strength and endurance training, or are looking for help with pain management, the Penguins turn to Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. If Geisinger does all that for the Penguins, imagine what we can do for you. Learn more at geisinger.org/Medicare Advantage. That's geisinger.org/Medicare Advantage.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Relax, recenter, and reset this season at Woodhouse Spa, Wyoming Avenue in Kingston. At Woodhouse Spa, you'll discover one-of-a-kind, personalized treatments that are designed to help you relax and rebalance so you can handle anything life throws your way. Visit Woodhouse Spa on Wyoming Avenue in Kingston or kingston.woodhousespas.com to book an experience or purchase a gift card today.
Hey there, hockey fans, and welcome back here on your Coors Light Intermission Report. We're between periods 1 and 2 tonight between the Cleveland Monsters and the Steamtown Gandy Dancers. Always a blast, these community nights over the years for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. We've had a lot of fun with these one-night moniker, one-night theme nights over the past couple of years, and we're planning on having some fun right now on the Coors Light Intermission Report as well, because joining me for a quick little chat is Penguins defenseman Harrison Brunick. Bruno, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us here. How you feeling coming into this one tonight? We're expecting a party-like atmosphere. Is it a party in the room right now?
Yeah, feeling good. Gotta wear these cool jerseys tonight. That's always pretty fun. And we're playing against a good team tonight, so should be a good game.
Yeah, should be a primetime matchup. Every game prior to tonight that we've seen the Cleveland Monsters decided by one goal between Cleveland and then Wilkes-Barre Scranton, but maybe we'll see if this Steamtown Gandy Dancers gimmick can get 2 points in the bag for this Penguins club and yourself too. I know things got away from you a little bit on Thursday, but you've been humming in your time here with the Penguins this season. Got that goal last night against the Islanders, a 6-game point streak for you here in the American Hockey League, but it's been interesting. You've gone through one of the most unique seasons I think any player can attest to, starting in the NHL, conditioning loan here to the American League, the development plan that Pittsburgh had laid out, and then World Junior Hockey Championships, representing your country, back to junior for a little bit. This has all just happened in one season. Has it been a long year from you? Has it flown by as you've kind of ridden the waves here and kind of surfed through what's been a really unique season?
Yeah, definitely unique. I don't think there's really been a place where I've exactly settled down, but should be a long run here, and I'm excited for that. And again, I'm always excited when I'm here and I can be with great players and have good staff around me, stuff like that. So very fortunate, but yeah, it has been a unique and kind of crazy ride. Maybe felt a little bit longer at times, but I've gotten the chance to be a part of some pretty special groups. And like you said earlier, tonight's a big game. We're looking for those 2 points to help us get close towards that bye. So super important tonight, and ready to go.
Now that you are back here, you talked about the excitement that you have playing with good players, being around a good staff, great coaches. But what about the guys back there too, and the personalities back there? How excited are you just to be one of the guys again after getting a taste of this locker room and this group during the playoffs last year?
Yeah, I'm super familiar with a lot of the guys, through camp, obviously a little bit in Pittsburgh too. Everyone's great. I think about a guy like Howie. I've kind of gotten the chance to grow closer with him over the last couple of years too, same as Pix and those guys. So everyone's great, and it's always fun when I can come to the rink and everyone's smiling.
We talk about the long and unique nature of this season, but throughout this long year, you've been able to achieve some dreams. We alluded to the World Junior Hockey Championships, where you not only play for Canada, you win a medal for your home country too, and you start the season achieving a lifelong dream, playing in the NHL, making that debut for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 9 games up there with the big club. Now that we're in April, months removed perhaps from that first game in the NHL, what do you think the biggest lesson that you took away from those 9 games was?
Yeah, I think just, the defensive side of the game. I think, when I left there, I got a couple things that I was told I need to work on, and that was, more just defensive stuff. Killing plays early, whatever it is, having a good stick in the neutral zone, my gap, so little details like that. But I think I'm really working on those, things to just get better at all around, and, hopefully end up there again soon.
I know you're going to be dead set on improving as much as you can, not only to help out this squad here while you're here in the American Hockey League, but to get back to the NHL as well. But one thing we know that Harrison Brunek thrives at is your skating ability. It jumps right off the ice the first time someone watches you play. I've always wanted to ask you, never got a chance to, is this something that's always kind of been in your arsenal? Did skating come naturally to you, or did you have a mentor, a skating coach that you worked with young that kind of turned you into the guy who can maneuver out there like you do now?
Yeah, not really. Haven't always been, the greatest skater. I think it was more that COVID, that lockout year. You couldn't really be around a big group and stuff like that, so I got the chance to do like some private power skating, and I think it kind of took off from there. So, a big shout out goes to, a guy named Patrick Poutafon in Calgary. So, he's helped me kind of become the skater I am, but here it's a different league. You can't just wheel the puck end to end. But yeah, there's still plays where I can use my feet and obviously get going. So that's a big skill set of mine. I look to just keep improving and use it when I can.
It's not often you hear people talk about the good things that perhaps come out of the COVID pandemic, but apparently the skating ability of Harrison Brunek, a huge silver lining for you during that period of time, and it's been great watching you whenever you are out there flying around for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, the Pittsburgh Penguins, Team Canada, what have you, and hopefully it's going to be a lot of hockey for Harrison Brunek here in the Calder Cup playoffs this season as well. Bruno, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
And with Calder Cup playoffs on the mind as well, I figured now is a good time to mention to you listeners out there that the Steamtown Gandy Dancers can clinch the number 2 overall seed in the Atlantic Division tonight. We cited it before. We'll tell you again. A regulation win tonight against the Monsters by the Gandy Dancers clinches that number 2 spot, locking them into not just the 2 seed, but a first-round bye through the best of 3 opening round series of the Calder Cup playoffs. Even if the Gandy Dancers don't win tonight, a regulation loss by the Charlotte Checkers to the Hershey Bears would serve the same purpose, and then this club is locked into the 2 seed. There's a couple of other weird scenarios with both teams going to overtime that we don't need to get into right now, but I can tell you that you can purchase playoff packs right now. We do not know who we're playing yet. We do not know when the games are going to be played, but tons of reasons to be excited about what this team can do moving forward in the postseason with players like Harrison Brunek. Call the team's front office at 570-208-PENS PENS to get all the information that you need on those playoff packs, or to just lock down your seat right now. Get those seats, get those playoff packs purchased right away. They're on sale now, and once the schedule comes out, you'll know when you can cheer on this team here at Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. It is a pay-as-we-play plan, meaning you are not going to be charged a single dime, nickel, or penny until a home game at that, becomes official, becomes guaranteed to be played. Once that happens, your bank account will be charged, but you're going to be in the building with you and all of your friends and everyone you want to be partying with here throughout the Calder Cup playoffs. So once again, for more of the nitty-gritty details, get in touch with the team's front office at 570-208-PENS PENS. We're going to catch our breath, step aside for a quick moment here on the Coors Light Intermission Report, but be right back talking a little bit more about the Gandy Dancers and the Monsters, what they've done so far tonight in that first period. Train's going to be back at the station in a moment on WILK News Radio.
Your business has a story to tell. Let Fast Signs of Wilkes-Barre help you tell it using the right mix of visual communication solutions like signs,
230,
digital displays, vehicle graphics, mobile marketing, and so much more. Give Fast Signs of Wilkes-Barre your business challenge, and they'll come up with a plan to grow your business, reach more customers, and accomplish more than you ever thought possible. Fast Signs. More than fast, more than signs.
Aim for these goals every day. 5 servings of fruit and vegetables, 4 positive affirmations, 3 belly laughs, 2 hours or less of recreational screen time, 1 hour of outdoor activity, and 0 sugary sweetened beverages. Small changes lead to big gains in the long run. Have fun and take charge of your health by joining the Zing 543-210 movement at geisinger.org/zing. That's geisinger.org/zing.
Spring programs are now underway at the Toyota Sportsplex on Cole Street in Wilkes-Barre, just a few minutes from Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. Learn to skate and beginner hockey classes, figure skating, public skating, birthday parties, Penguins practices, and much more. There's something for everyone at the Toyota Sportsplex. Call them today at 570-208-9471 or visit toyotasportsplex.com for upcoming programs. The Toyota Sportsplex, where skating is fun again.
You're tired of the same old wrench-turning
60 seconds.
Skilled mechanic ready to take the wheel on your career? H&K Group Incorporated wants to meet you. We're hiring road, shop, and diesel mechanics to join our team of industry leaders. If you got the skills, we're talking top pay, 100% paid benefits, and job security with a team that runs on precision, power, and pride. Step up and get paid what you're worth. Your future starts here. H&K Group does not discriminate. Apply today. Visit hkgroup.com. That's hkgroup.com.
Looking for your dream home with space, style, and stunning views? Join Dave Ferry Custom Homes and Classic Properties this Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. for an open house at 31 Chickasha Lake Road in Chickasha. This brand new home sits on over 2 acres with charming country views, offering 4 bedrooms, 2,172 square feet, and modern craftsmanship throughout, all for $529,900.
10 seconds.
It's your chance to tour this beautiful new build. Stop by this Sunday and see what makes it feel like home.
You're up.
Good start for Steamtown after being, I wouldn't say necessarily under siege, but certainly playing a little bit more time in their zone to start things off. Yoel Blomqvist helped them weather that early storm, and Daniel Russell sets up Atlee Calvert for the game's only goal thus far. Third straight game in which Atlee Calvert scored a goal, and they've all been Atlee Calvert's brand of hockey, even though the Penguins have rebranded tonight. It's the same old story with Atlee Calvert, going to the net, tips, rebounds, things of that nature. Daniel Russell had the old school pass-off pads on the 2-on-1 rush with that juicy rebound coming right to Calvert, who hoisted it over the legs of Zach Sawchenko for the only goal of the game so far here between the Candy Dancers and the Monsters. That goal from Atlee Calvert coming at 12:29 of the first period, even though Steamtown was outshot 14-11. Furthermore, Steamtown's going to have a little bit of carryover power play time when they jump out to start the second period. 1 minute and 11 seconds of man advantage time to be precise. Both teams went 0 for 1 on their full complement of power plays back in the first period as well. Quickly to the out-of-town scoreboard, we already know that Steamtown has clinched the 2 seed in the Atlantic Division. You know how I was just saying before, a regulation win for the Candy Dancers would do the job, or a regulation loss by Charlotte. Well, the Hershey Bears, you can thank them for the Candy Dancers getting the bye. Louis Belpedio with the game-winning goal in a 2-1 win down at Bojangles Coliseum. Springfield, they've been hot lately, but they're currently losing to the Hartford Wolfpack 3-1 after one. The Pittsburgh Penguins dropped their game to the Washington Capitals today 6-3. And then in college hockey, the NCAA Men's National Championship game happening tonight. The University of Wisconsin has a 1-0 lead on Denver. Our middle frame from Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza is coming up next on WIOK News Radio.
Local news, sports, and original
3 minutes.
Stream right to your smart TV. Introducing the 2822 Now app, a new way to stream live 2822 news, plus exclusive programming. Like
I got you.
Files and 2822 Sports Night, powered by WBRE 28 and WYOE
that'll be good.
22. It's everything you love, streaming right to your living room. Download the 2822 Now app on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV. Just search 2822 and start watching today. Sponsored by the Pocono Mountains.
When it comes to sports, speed is everything. Like an 80-yard TD, a buzzer-beating basket, or a breakaway shot on goal. Seconds can make all the difference. At Pentel Data, speed is what we do. Our fiber supports healthcare, retail, wireless phone, and yes, even high school and college sports all rely on us for the fastest digital connections. When the game is on the line, customers score big with Pentel Data. Proud to support our hometown teams.
Programs are now underway at the Toyota Sportsplex on Cole Street in Wilkes-Barre, just a few minutes from Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. Learn to skate in beginner hockey classes, figure skating, public skating, birthday parties, Penguins practices, and much more. There's something for everyone at the Toyota Sportsplex. Call them today at 570-208-9471 or visit toyotasportsplex.com for upcoming programs. The Toyota Sportsplex, where skating is fun again. Do you have both Medicare
60 seconds.
and Medicaid? Learn about a Geisinger Gold Medicare Advantage Secure RX HMO DSNP plan. Get valuable benefits, along with access to Geisinger and over 30,000 other doctors. Call 866-304-2935 today. Geisinger Gold are HMO, PPO, and HMO DSNP plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Geisinger Gold depends on contract renewal.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that
10 seconds.
And cracking open with music to your ears
Here we go.
already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
You're up.
Second period about to start. Steamtown Gandy Dancers lead the Cleveland Monsters 1-0. And a power play here for Steamtown to start. A minute and 11 seconds of man advantage time to work with. However, Cleveland is going to propel the puck back to the Steamtown zone for them to retrieve behind their net. So that kills a little bit of that minute and 11 seconds right off the hop. Aho on the breakout. Drops it back to Mihail Elian. Elian swerving through center. Across the blue line at the left wing. He'll flick it down deep for Aiden McDonough. Sawchenko thought about leaving his crease to play that one, then scurried back to his spot. Meanwhile, the puck is going to bounce off the body of Aho and into the Gandy Dancers bench. So looks like the faceoff is going to stay in the attacking end for Steamtown, but that halts any potential rhythm they were trying to get in here on this IVEW Nika power play. Historically, this has been a house of horrors for the Cleveland Monsters. Steamtown 22-6-5-0 all time against the Monsters franchise and 13-0-2-0 at home. But one of those two overtime losses happened earlier this season. Back and forth, knockdown, drag-out game ended up going Cleveland's way with a goal from their captain, Brendan Gaunce, in OT. First win here in this building in the tenure of Trent Vogelhuber, Monsters head coach. After a clear by Cleveland, the Gandy Dancers worked their way back on side. Howard over to the right side boards by Aho, finds Elian down to the goal line. Calvert trying to toe drag in front. His shot in tight, blocked. Ultimately off the skates of Guillaume Richard, and the puck played out by Mikhail Putia. Stalled by Blomqvist behind his net, who was a perfect 14 for 14 back in the first period. Over his current 4-game win streak, Blomqvist has a .933 save percentage. Watches on as there's a collision right at the blue line. Aho put his arms in the air to express his innocence. Now play going to be stopped as Howe sent one up and out of play here. Are they calling interference on Aho? Initially it looked like there was no penalty going to be called for that collision. And reinforcing that point was the fact that Tanner Howe was able to walk right down the slot and almost rifle in a 2-0 lead for Steamtown, but I suppose you can call it a late whistle. And it's going to be a Price Chopper Market 32 penalty kill for the Gandy Dancers. Steamtown just getting the word that they're on the PK. Head engineer Kirk McDonald with his arms outstretched, palm to the ceiling, trying to figure out what the delay was on the call. They're actually not going to call it on Aho, but rather Aaron Huglin is going to go off to serve this interference penalty. Second time in this game that Steamtown's been booked for interference. So right after the Gandy Dancers are unsuccessful on their second power play. Cleveland gets a crack on the man advantage for the second time. However, the faceoff won by the Gandy Dancers, powered out by Alex Alexiev. Alex Alexiev, a key member of this Gandy Dancers penalty kill. With Big Al in the lineup, they're 83.8% on the PK, 76.6% in their games without him. So wrist shot by Gauntz gets blocked, but pulled out of the skates of Harvey Pinard by Mikhail Putia. Putia sneaking down the left side wing, passes back to Pinelli at the point, over to Morelli, to Pinelli again, right dot, Gauntz, one-timer, hits off of Alexiev, goes wide, battle for it behind the net, chiseled up the boards, Harvey Pinard able to pitchfork it back out to center. Having a bead on it there was Luca Morelli. Angled pass off the penalty box doors, collected by Brendan Gauntz. Number 16 here for Cleveland, back pass, swatted back to center by Clausen. Gauntz drafted in the first round by Vancouver in 2012, draft held in Pittsburgh. Brunick comes up short-handed now, shot down low, saved by Sawchenko. Rebound came back to Brunick, and Luca Morelli stabbed out his stick to knife that one away from Brunick. Looked like he was going to be able to clean up the trash, just like Calvert from the first, if not for that defensive interlude there by Morelli. 38 seconds left in the PK, by the way, for Steamtown. McCown is going to accelerate his way into the Steamtown zone. Check pass to the left, intercepted by Rivas Ansons, and even though he was knocked off kilter from both knees, he's able to get enough leverage to clear that puck on the backhand down towards Sawchenko. Not much doing on this power play for Cleveland. Going to try to set up shop again in the offensive zone with little time that's left here on the power play. Rimmed around the Steamtown end. Comes down to McCown. Pass to the bottom of the right circle. Ashawn tried to flip it to Sillinger. Knocked down by a swarming group of Gandy Dancers. Howe carries this one across the logo at center. Dumps it deep just as the man advantage expires. Huglin's out. Gandy Dancers back to 5v5. Still a 1-0 game here. Breakout taken away by Huglin, but his pass into the slot intended for Renwick. Denied by the defense of Cleveland. Dump and change time now for Roman Ashawn. Couple of former Badgers in this lineup for Cleveland, Ashawn and Koolmans. Their teammate Will Butcher, playing for the University of Denver. Icing called here against Steamtown. Butcher was a Hobie Baker winner with the Pioneers as well. Denver tonight playing the University of Wisconsin in the NCAA Men's National Championship game. The Pios trying to extend what is already the most national championships in NCAA hockey with 10. They're going for 11 tonight, but the Badgers have the 1-0 lead. Somewhat of a Cinderella run for a prestigious program to get this far. Frozen Four in Las Vegas. Meanwhile, Max Plant was named the Hobie Baker winner this year, Minnesota Duluth, brother of prospect Zam Plant, drafted by Pittsburgh a few summers ago. What a dynamic duo they were for the Bulldogs this year. 4 minutes and change played so far in this second period. Both teams have had power plays, but man advantages that proved unfruitful for both sides. Brunick jumps up to the right hash mark, but the puck chipped over his stick by Guillaume Richard. Gandy Dancers regroup, lead pass, too far in front of Russell, and Ansons tried his hardest to win the icing race, but they're going to give that one to Cleveland. Face-off coming back down to Yoel Blomqvist's side of the ice. You may not know it, but gum disease can dull your pearly whites and take the shine off of that winning smile. In fact, 4 out of 5 U.S. adults live with some form of gum disease, but Carpenter Dental's professional dental services can prevent such issues as they promise quality care in a clean and comfortable environment. Visit their website, carpenterdental.com, for more info on all of their services, including gum disease prevention. That's carpenterdental.com. Puck drop to the right of Blomqvist, won by Ansons. He's listed as a winger on the AHL website, but plays all 3 forward positions, does Rivas Ansons, and comes up with some clutch face-off wins. Zach Gallant backpedals for a loose puck in the high slot of the Gandy Dancers zone. Chips it ahead to Harrison Brunick. Leads the team on side, of course, and Koolmans is going to swipe that one away for Cleveland. Koolmans, 22-year-old right-handed defenseman, catapults it through the air. Knocked down at center by Steamtown. Wedged in by Ansons. Left back now for Stanislav Svozil. Up ahead to Tate Singleton. Gains the red line. Thrusts it deep. Blomqvist out to play it. Tried to half pipe it around the boards and out. Instead, it bounces back to the top of his crease. First one on it, Atlee Calvert, but there was some pressure coming from behind by James Malatesta. Fifth rounder by the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2021, Malatesta. Reverse pass over to the right wall for Morelli. His shot blocked wide. Jumping up to it once again is Corson Kuhlmans. A first rounder by Columbus in 2021. Orbiting behind the Gandy Dancers net is Morelli. Hard pass to the blue line, too hot to handle for Will Butcher. Becomes a free clear for Steamtown. Wholesale change with 5 new skaters hopping over the boards with Calvert. The last one to get back there, Mikhail Alian, hops over the wall. Making it 5 skaters for Steamtown. Harding trying to handle a dump in. Puck hit a divot in the ice right along the board. Skipped over the rookie's stick. Allows Cleveland to pull it in. However, whiffing on the shot is Morelli. Springs Clausen the other way. Another 2-on-1 for the Gandy Dancers. Alian tried to return feed for Clausen, but he had already barreled past the far post. No shot there for Steamtown as the Monsters rush back towards Blomqvist. Boothia, right corner. Puck muscled off of his stick. Alian on the breakout. Missed McDonough. Coming back for it is Alex Alexiev. Leaned in there on Luca Pinelli to make sure the Monsters wouldn't get another crack there. Harding gains the red line. Floats this one down behind the Monsters' net. Finn Harding entered this game with a plus 31 rating. Whether you love, you hate, or you're indifferent to the plus-minus stat, that is the best among all AHL rookies. A 7th-round pick by Pittsburgh, Finn Harding, in his first season of pro hockey. Here's Huglin, also a first-year pro, trying to split the defense. Richard instead will push him to the left side corner. Huglin and Harvey Pinard roll up their sleeves. Howe joining the fray as well. Monsters Richard zips it over to the stick of Dyson Mayo. Originally drafted back in 2014 by the Phoenix Coyotes. Longtime veteran Dyson Mayo gets his team into the attacking end as Howe goes crashing into a Sean at the right boards. Levy back to the point. Mayo with a wrister that's blocked off the shin guards of Huglin. Ricochets back to the blue line in the Monster zone. 12.5 minutes remaining here in the second period. Still a 1-0 lead for Steamtown. Richard scurries down to the left corner, cuts away from Brunick, lays it back to the point. Kuhlmans. Richard overskated the return pass. High and off the glass goes Howe, falls down for Harvey Pinard. Slick exit there for Steamtown, even though Harvey Pinard's tied up along the right wall. Brunick lost his stick trying to defend on that last sequence, but they get out of dodge. Do the Gandy Dancers? Puck hoisted towards the Steamtown net, but wide of Blomqvist's cage, so icing called here against the visitors. Allows Steamtown to perhaps try and counter with a fresh group. They did just make a line change, but it looks like they're going to stick with Imama, Renwick, and Gallant for the time being. When it comes to the franchise best away record that Steamtown's compiled this season, 25-7-3-1, when asked about it, head coach Kirk McDonald has said, he doesn't really have a firm reason as to why that's been the case, but his best guess is that he doesn't care too much for line matchups. He just wants to roll 4 lines. He trusts each and every one of his lines, and when other teams get that last change on home ice, they might get in their own heads where Gandy Dancers just put out whoever's up next. No shot earned on that offensive zone faceoff following the icing. Big shot block by Cleveland. Renwick tries to get things back in the attacking zone. His flip play hit off the face of Pearson. Looks like Pearson's all right after oohs and ahs from the crowd. Nashua, New Hampshire native Pearson tries to steady himself defensively here as Imama cuts back to the blue line, then chips it down to the left side corner. Zach Gallant reverses behind the goal to Nolan Renwick. Renwick trying to pass to the point. 2 attempts at it, both rebuffed by Cleveland. However, Imama comes in to lend a helping hand. Kuhlmans stymies the cycle behind the Monsters' net. Now leads Cleveland the other way. Rushing down the right wing. Monsters pass towards the slot. Chopped away by Chase Pietola. Pickering also finishes his hit on Hudson Fashing behind the Steamtown goal. Imama goes between the legs to clear it out to center. Missed Calvert on the break-in feed, so the Monsters regroup here at the top of the circles in their end. 10:56 left in the second period. Hudson Fashing. Veteran forward, trying to power his way down low against Steamtown. Got through with the puck and is going to draw the referee's arm skyward. Delayed call upcoming here against the Gandy Dancers. Holding the signal made by the official, so Hudson Fashing able to draw another man advantage here for Cleveland. They're getting their 3rd crack at the power play when we come back. Still looking at a 1-0 score for Steamtown here on WIOK News Radio.
30 seconds.
Vanscoy. If you're looking for the largest selection of diamond jewelry, you must come to Vanscoy's Diamond Mine on Mundy Street. You'll get the best price and the fastest service. We offer layaway or interest-free financing. So shop where the Penguins shop, the preferred.
10 seconds.
That's Vanscoy's Diamond Mine on Mundy Street, Wilkes-Barre, just below the Wyoming Valley Mall. That's on Mundy Street. Mundy Street on Mundy Street.
You're up.
Throughout Steamtown Gandy Dancers Night here, we not only have had a ton of support and help from the Steamtown National Historic Site in Scranton, but also U.S. Army is here in the building tonight. We saw a couple of young men commit to the U.S. Army during the first intermission here. Veteran of our armed forces just acknowledged during that commercial break, and everyone on their feet to salute what I couldn't hear exactly in my ear what was going on. These earmuffs prevent me from hearing everything clearly, but seems like a very decorated veteran here in attendance tonight for this community night game presented by Visit Luzerne County. 1-0 lead for the Steamtown Gandy Dancers. A last third PK of the game for Steamtown. Aho called for holding at 9:21 of the second. Draw won by Cleveland. Morelli quickly escorts it to the right for Luca Pinelli. Wrist shot goes wide, bounces back towards the left post. Wouldn't cooperate there for Mikhail Putia. However, the Monsters still able to stick a fork in that puck and reset here on the man advantage. Gauntz stands at the right side half wall. Shifts it back to the point. Now Pinelli at the right dot. Hard shot, shouldered away by Blomqvist. Race for the loose puck. Gotten to by Calvert. Couldn't clear, however. Lost in the skates of Gauntz. Now Alexiev will muscle it all the way down. Morelli back to pick it up. Played for the Oshawa Generals under the tutelage of now Gandy Dancers assistant coach Brad Malone. Oh, we had more contact in the neutral zone away from the puck. We saw this penalty go against Steamtown earlier. Now it's Cleveland that's guilty. Both referees caught it too. Morelli going to be called for interference after setting the pick, so to speak, on one of the Gandy Dancers who was backpedaling towards their zone on the penalty kill. So we're going to skate at 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 14 seconds. And then a third power play in the game for Steamtown. Getting another look at Daniel Russell here, now with some open ice to work with. Undrafted, but 4 years at Michigan State University. As a freshman, he had the first 30-point season in well over a decade. Derek Grant was the last 30-point freshman on the Spartans. Also, he was second on the team in assist and points that year. Double digits in goal scoring in each of the 3 seasons that followed. Signed to an American Hockey League contract for next year. Playing on an ATO right now for Steamtown, Daniel Russell. I'm going to see how this smooth operator works with open ice now at 4-on-4 as Cleveland sends an errant pass across the Steamtown zone, and it's going to be picked up by Alexiev. However, the lead feed by Pietila, knocked down by Kuhlmans right in front of the Cleveland bench. Clausen and Russell both spelunking for it right in front of that Monsters bench. Dragged loose by Daniel Russell. Comes in on Butcher. Drop pass. Now over to Clausen. His one-timer eaten up by Zach Sawchenko. 9:14 left here in the second period. 35 seconds left in 4-on-4 hockey, but you know what? We're going to let the ice crew come out here, make some quick refurbishments to the playing surface. We'll be right back with more Gandy Dancers hockey after this on WIOK News Radio.
From the very
60 seconds.
We're all about being connected. And year after year, through every stage of life, that need grows even stronger. Which is why Penn Teledata never stops improving our advanced fiber network. We connect the things that matter most. Businesses, schools, healthcare, governments, and of course, the people who make our community strong. This is technology with a purpose. Stay connected. with Penn Teledata.
Local news, sports, and original programming streamed right to your smart TV. Introducing the 2822 Now app, a new way to stream live 2822 news. Plus exclusive programming like the Mahalashek Files and 2822 Sports Night. Powered by WBRE 28 and WYOU 22. It's everything you love, streaming right to your living room.
10 seconds.
22 Now app on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV. Just search 2822 and start watching today. Sponsored by the Pocono Mountains.
You're up.
The race to the Calder Cup is on, where every moment matters and every play counts. Stream every heart-pounding moment exclusively on AHL TV on FloHockey from now until the Cup is won. AHL TV on FloHockey, because playoff hockey hits harder. 1-0 lead for Steamtown over Cleveland. Monsters handle the puck, carried out of their defensive zone here at 4-on-4. Gauntz is going to miss wide, and that will careen off the right side corner boards and drip back to Monsters territory. Back for it was Jack Williams, league leader in overtime goals. Now a lead stretch pass out for Williams, just a little bit too far beyond his wingspan here. I cite the overtime goals by Williams, not because he scored one against the Gandy Dancers earlier this year, but at 4-on-4, it's a little bit more of a closer simulation of what you see in sudden death versus 5-on-5. Everybody loves the excitement of 3-on-3 overtime, and Williams has certainly enjoyed that during his time in the pros. But now with Steamtown getting Aho out of the box, it's a brief power play here for the Gandy Dancers. About a half minute on the IBEW Nika power play. Aho stays out here for the power play. Skates blue line to blue line. Passes to Calvert. Trying to kick it back down the boards to Aho. That's cut off by Cleveland and cleared. Blomqvist stops behind his net. Drops it to Aiden McDonough. McDonough, since the start of March, has 14 points in 13 games. 26-year-old brings it onside. Pass fired underneath the stick of Mikhail Elian. Now wants Harvey Pinard. Poked it in front. No one there for Steamtown. Monsters get their man back. We'll skate at 5-on-5 here. A rare sight so far in this second period. Pearson trying to get numbers the other way for Cleveland, but a well-timed poke check by Owen Pickering is going to stab that away from Pearson. Strong defense there by Pickering. Harvey Pinard powers one to the red line at center. Grabbed by Svozil. Tried to hay-bail it in on the backhand. Instead it hit the body of Hunter McCown. Scooped up by Imama. D to D. Pietola to Pickering. Up to Gallant. Deftly able to knock down that bouncing puck. Over Imama and Gallant. Don't get very far. They're stuck at the right side boards here. Chipped off the wall by Cleveland. Sent right to left for Hunter McCown. Now McCown wanted Riley Bizzo. Slipped behind his back. Chase Pietola reels it in for Steamtown. Touch play attempted by Imama. Didn't get to Gallant on the first try. Gallant, however, knocked down the dump in by Morelli. Got to be lugged in here by Malatesta. Shot goes wide to the short side. Bounces over to Butcher, left side wall. Will Butcher of 275 NHL games. Tried to ring it over to the right corner. Gandy Dancers all over that. Brought ahead by Gallant. His pass for Imama knocked down by a back-checking McCown. McCown wiggles his way behind his own net. Brief refuge there from Imama and Gallant. McCown now takes it to center ed. Catapults it deep. Blomqvist will stop it behind his cage now with 6:24 left in the second period. 1-0 lead maintained here for Steamtown. Atlee Calvert still the only man to find the back of the net in this game for either side. Calvert back in the defensive zone. Beat Tate Singleton to the puck, but his reverse play immediately broken up by Cleveland. Skips to the left point. Guillaume Richard surveying his options. Stuffs it into the skates of Tate Singleton. Eats a check from Harding. Knocked the puck free for Daniel Russell, but he's pressured by Ashawn. Lifted out. Back to the neutral zone by Steamtown. Mayo hustles back for it. Victoria, BC native. Passed in front for Sillinger. Now stolen away by Steamtown. Lobbed to the side of the net. Couldn't be knifed on net by Russell. But Russell continues to compete forward in the right corner. Ansons takes it away from Ashawn. Backhand, spindles it down the boards. Calvert stalled it behind the net for a moment, but got checked off the puck by Dyson Mayo. Ashawn brings it ahead for Cleveland. Gains the red line, will dump and change. 5:24 left in the period. Brunick tripped up, and with the Monsters touching the puck immediately, play comes to a screeching halt. A fourth power play now for Steamtown. If you are expecting a special teams bout between Steamtown and Cleveland tonight, well, you've gotten your wish. You haven't seen a power play goal for either side just yet. Gandy Dancer is going to try to change that when we return on WILK News Radio.
30 seconds.
Teachers, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins are teaming up with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms for a new in-school program called the Rivals Program, presented by M&T Bank. The Pens and Phantoms are providing PA schools with full sets of hockey equipment and a curriculum with drills and lessons, all
10 seconds.
Some teamwork and physical exercise. If you're interested in learning more about the Rivals program, email Kyle Hammer at khammer@wbspenguins.com.
You're up.
Hey fans, if you're looking to buy that engagement ring or any diamond gift for that matter, you have to go to Vanscoy Diamond Mine on Mundy Street. That's where the Gandy Dancers go, their preferred jeweler, and besides having the largest selection that you will ever see, they have a great layaway and even offer 1-year interest-free financing. I'm talking about Vanscoy Diamond Mine, just below the Wyoming Valley Mall. That's on Mundy Street. Mundy Street on Mundy Street. Diamonds, as we know, come from coal. The rare resource of anthracite coal here in northeast Pennsylvania, a big reason why this became a crux of railroading back in the 1800s. Allowed the economy to boom in this area. The Gandy Dancers were the ones laying and maintaining the tracks to build this region. Power play here for the Gandy Dancers. However, a clear by Cleveland's penalty kill to start things off. We're going to see Brunick out here, starting a voyage out of the Gandy Dancers zone. Back past to Clausen, out here with Hughlin, Howe, and Russell. Onside comes Steamtown. It's wrenched away by a Shaw, but he just punted it to the opposite boards in his zone with the numbers advantage in favor of Steamtown. They're quick to hop on that puck. Played to the blue line for Harrison Brunick. Walks left to right, does the Calgary, Alberta native, then puts it on the stick of Hughlin. Clausen, bump back to Hughlin. Swerves it back to Clausen, looking backdoor, hits the stick of Sawchenko and ramps up and out of play. Parked on that back post was Tanner Howe, but Clausen unable to get it through. A lot of WHL representation on this man advantage unit for Steamtown. Howe, Clausen, and Brunick, all coming out of the Western Hockey League. Clausen, former captain of the Portland Winterhawks. Howe, we said before, former captain of the Regina Pats. Brunick played 24 games and had 24 points this season for the Kamloops Blazers. Face-off won by Steamtown. Clausen, right wall, quick pass in front for Hughlin, and his wrister ensnared by Sawchenko. Time and space there for Hughlin. Maybe about 3 feet back from the right side hash marks. His confidence, you have to imagine, is sky high after that 4-point game last Saturday against the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Nevertheless, Sawchenko with perhaps a confidence-building stop. Quick clear by Cleveland, brought back ahead by Harrison Brunick. Expeditiously across the blue line was Brunick. Hughlin trying to squirm in front, leaks off of his stick back to Clausen, who's standing in Brunick's usual spot at the blue line. Battle forward in the right corner. Howe going to whip it back to the point for Brunick. Steps to the left, passes right. Clausen's shot, pinballs off of several skates, but still ends up wide. Deft pass by Hughlin, back in front, 2 saves by Sawchenko on Howe. Now it's a lead for Brunick, slap shot tipped wide. Looked like Russell may have got a stick on it. Russell again, right dot, drops it to the blue line for Harrison Brunick. Has an open Hughlin on the left and gets it to him. Back to the point again. Brunick had it roll over his stick, and that allowed Gauntz an opening to chop it off of his stick. Retrieved by Steamtown back at the top of the circles in their zone. However, there's just 12 seconds left on this IBEW Nika power play. Gandy Dancers trying to add to their lead. Puck rides the turntable around the offensive zone. Wraparound try by Harvey Pinard. Doesn't make it through. Now a lead pass to the man out of the box. It's a breakaway for Singleton. Dances forehand. Oh, and a giant kick save by Yoel Blomqvist. Followed Singleton with every move, never bit, and then reached out with the right pad, makes the toe save, and smothers the rebound. All alone was Tate Singleton. Gave the right skate kick. Went backhand to the forehand and got a little bit of elevation on that puck as well. But Blomqvist lasered in, never flinched, and stretched out to keep the Gandy Dancers 1-0 lead intact. Blomqvist was busy early, largely a quiet second period, but there's his biggest test of the game. And he stepped up with all the bells and whistles for that save. Might have to make another one as Pearson cuts behind the net, passes over to Jack Williams, but then his twisted pass behind his back didn't get much mustard on that. Steamtown not going to be called for icing here as Morelli got body positioning on an oncoming Zach Gallant. Officials say play on. Harding whips it back behind Sawchenko's net. Stalled there by the former San Jose Shark. Quick pass over to Butcher, right in his grill as Boko Imama has to get help, and he finds it from Jack Williams. Well-timed back pressure there by the rookie Jack Williams to help save the day for Cleveland. Meanwhile, Steamtown hurriedly back on side. Anson's float pass for Calvert. Got it in the right corner. Sent up high, and it bloopers into the shoulder of Sawchenko. Falls into his glove. Action stops with 2:16 left in the second period. You can discover the easiest way to travel, not necessarily by train, but rather with a Martz bus. Martz offers delightful day trips as well as exciting multi-day vacations, excursions for every age and every interest. Use the promo code GOPENS26 for $25 off your next tour. Visit martztravel.com for more details. That is an exclusive discount for Gandy Dancers fans, but the code is GOPENS26 for $25 off. Gandy Dancers chase back to their zone for but a moment. Ansons and Pickering combined to skyhook the puck back down to the Monsters' goal. Calvert's left corner as the Gandy Dancers chant slowly swelling in the background. Stalled as Cleveland able to escape its zone. Touched wide of Blomqvist's crease. Pietila brings it around the boards, but non-outs. Vozil keeps it onside. Quick shot attempted by Pinelli. Blocked by Steamtown. Brought forth by Daniel Russell. 24-year-old on the forecheck. One of the Monsters blew a tire. Russell then tried to reverse it behind the net, but it's cut off by Corson Kuhlmans, who quickly regained his balance after stepping on the banana peel behind his own net. Open ice hit on a Sean, knocks the puck ajar for Steamtown. Elian drop past McDonough, drops it again to Brunick. Sharp angle shot there from along the goal line, chipped over the net. That springs Cleveland the other way. Dipsy doodle move, backhand shot, and another save by Blomqvist. Makes a giant save there on Riley Bizzo. Now there's a try by Malatesta, denied by Blomqvist as well. 1 minute to go in the second period. McCown passes one in front, slips underneath Malatesta, but makes its way back to McCown left corner. Serpentines past Huglin. Button hooks at the blue line. Backhand pass, skips into the slot off the skates of Brunick. Bizzo hangs onto it, try the backhand feed, blocked by Alexiev. Monsters all aflutter here with 40 seconds left before the second intermission, trying to tie the game at 1. McCown from the right hash, back to the point. It's Richard now in the slot. Spinning try by Malatesta, gobbled up by Yoel Blomqvist. Malatesta knows how to get a lot of heat on those shots. He had a great chance with the puck bouncing to him high in the slot before, stopped by Blomqvist, and then that one. Not sure if he was trying to go under the arm, but kind of put it right into the breadbasket of Blomqvist, who was able to hang on. No rebound available for Cleveland. 28.7 remaining here in the middle frame. Cleveland once again reestablishing the lead in shots, 18-17 with that last try by Malatesta. Gandy Dancers kick the puck up ice. Onside is Harvey Pinard, barreling down to the bottom of the left circle. Pressed against the boards. Providing the defense is Morelli. Knocked free for Howe. Back into the slot. Wanted Huglin, taken away by Cleveland, but play stopped. The referee behind the action sees the net come ajar behind Zach Sawchenko. So Cleveland was about to maybe get a 2-on-2 rush the other way here in the final stages of this second period, but with the whistle blowing, with the net knocked loose behind Sawchenko, it looks like, where are they going to put this face-off? It's going to be a D-zone draw for Cleveland, which is a tough break for the Monsters, all things considered. Now, Trent Vogelhuber certainly pleading his case that at the very least, this face-off should happen in the neutral zone in front of the Penguins bench. I don't think Vogelhuber is going to get his request granted, however, or is he? It looks like referee Mike Dietrich signaling to his other officials. Is he saying we're going to go out here? No, he points to that dot to the left of Sawchenko, right side of the attacking zone for Steamtown. Offensive zone face-off here for Huglin. Knocked away by Cleveland, held at the line, shot taken by Aho and steered out of play by Zach Sawchenko. Now 5.4 left in the period. Now Williams is going to be sent out here for the Monsters. Who's he out to replace? They're going to pull off Pinelli. Looks like Williams is going to try to win this face-off, which would theoretically prevent Steamtown from getting another chance here before the break. Williams snaps that one back. Handled by Luca Morelli. Keeps it away from Tanner Howe, and that'll do it for this second frame at Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. And still that tally by Atlee Calvert in the first stands as our only goal thus far in this one. It's still a 1-0 lead for the Steamtown Candy Dancers. The shots now even 18-18 through 40 miles here in Northeast Pennsylvania. Coming up on yet another Coors Light Intermission report, we've got the AHL Plays of the Week, brought to you by Bob Rotruck, voice of the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. I'm not sure if he did it by train, by plane, or FloHockey on AHL TV, but he collected the very best highlights from around the entire AHL, and that highlight reel jam-packed with big moments as the race to the playoffs is on. That's coming up right after the break on WILK News Radio. Hey, Pens fans.
3 minutes.
Together with your coworkers, friends, or family to enjoy a memorable night out at a Penguins game this season. Groups of 10 or more can enjoy unique perks,
Sounds good.
special discounts on tickets, preferred seating, and more. And if you're looking to elevate your experience, the Penguins have premium hospitality options for parties of all sizes with food and beverage included. Call 570-208-7367 to speak with a member of our ticketing department and take your next group outing to the next level.
When it comes to sports, speed is everything. Like an 80-yard TD, a buzzer-beating basket, or a breakaway shot on goal. Seconds can make all the difference. At Penn Teledata, speed is what we do. Our broadband fiber supports healthcare, retail, wireless phone, and yes, even high school and college sports all rely on us for the fastest digital connections. When the game is on the line, customers score big with Penn Teledata. Proud to support our hometown teams.
Do you have both Medicare and Medicaid? Learn about a Geisinger Gold Medicare Advantage Secure RX HMO DSNP plan. Get valuable benefits, along with access to Geisinger and over 30,000 other doctors. Call 866-304-2935 today. Geisinger Gold are HMO, PPO, and HMO DSNP plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Geisinger Gold depends on contract renewal. The Penguins Goals Foundation needs your help. Access to sports is declining. Equipment and tuition are more expensive than some families can afford. With your support, we can bring hockey to our youth in the arena, in the classroom, and in the community. Visit penguinsgoalsfoundation.com to assist in our mission. Help us empower the hockey fans of tomorrow. Together, we can remove barriers on and off the ice.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps, or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. legacybox.com/radio.
Magic numbers and clinches abound, with even more teams punching their tickets. Still some tight battles remaining for coveted spots in the Calder Cup playoffs as we check in with all the top highlights on the AHL Plays of the Week. The Manitoba Moose got off to literally their best start in franchise history and clinching its spot in the Calder Cup playoffs along the way. Jared Anderson-Dolan scores just 8 seconds in, fastest goal in franchise history, and then another one at 1:09. Here's Daniel Fink.
Bring him up to center ice. The puck goes down, and we are underway here at Canada Life Center. And off the draw, here's a chance. Jared Anderson-Dolan in down the way, and he scores! Jared Anderson-Dolan, 8 seconds into the game. Moose pressuring, and they'll steal the puck in the offensive zone. Here's Dewar. Waiting, now snapping a puck to the net. Loose on the top of the crease, whacking away, and they score! Isaac Phillips cleans it up in front. It's 2-0 Moose.
Detroit fourth-rounder Anton Johansson of the Grand Rapids Griffins routing the Moose 7-2. No surprise as well that the Griffins clinching the Western Conference as well, with Bob Kaiser on the call.
And the Griffins will go back and get it. Keep an eye on Genborg as the puck now played in across the line. Grand Rapids, the shot, score! From the right point, Anton Johansson let it go, and that thing hit something or someone and deflected again right between the pads of Thomas Milic.
The Texas Stars are in and aiming for a first-round bye in the Central after a third consecutive series sweep of the Chicago Wolves. John Peterson there for another Artem Schlain game winner.
Struggles to clear, but gets some help from Semenov. Tipped ahead, beating the two defenders is Schlain on a breakaway. Scores! Artem Schlain speeds past the two Wolves defenders and buries the breakaway goal. 5-hole to give the Stars the 2-1 lead with 5:57 to play.
The Coachella Valley Firebirds are dancing again for a fourth consecutive season of the Calder Cup playoffs, and they did it in overtime, as called by Evan Pivnik.
As this one hits off of his stick, and the Firebirds come the other way on man rush. Leighton Road, right circle. Shutnoff, Road shoots off the post. Rebound, score! Tyson Shutnoff, the overtime winner. Turn the record over. We'll see you on the flip side. The Firebirds come back to beat the Canucks 3-2.
Ontario has long since clinched and is aiming for a Pacific crown after the Reign took down the Colorado Eagles. Here's Cam McGuire in the overtime battle of the top two teams in the division.
Up some speed out of his own zone. Bromiak, right circle, high slot, Connors, Brister, and he scores! Overtime winner! Kenny Connors calls game!
While the Colorado Eagles are keeping it close with exciting prospect Gavin Brindley joining for the big playoff push and scoring his first for the Eagles to help down the San Jose Barracuda. Kevin McClue at the mic.
Boulay centers it, shot, scores! Gavin Brindley right off the face-off. Boulay takes it through the bottom of the left wing circle, throws it across the top of the crease, and Brindley tucks it home.
Avery Hayes of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins returned from Pittsburgh for his career-high 23rd goal to down the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Nick Hart on the mic for the Pens, who are aiming for a first-round playoff bye in the Atlantic.
Puck finds its way back to him again. Try to snap it up to Bonk. Picked off by Clausen. Angled off the boards and chipped ahead to Avery Hayes. He's got a breakaway, shoots, and scores! Behind the defense, and Kolosov didn't stand a chance.
Springfield has risen into a playoff spot under new head coach Steve Ott. Ryan Smith was there for the shootout winner over Syracuse from Akil Thomas that has the T-Birds inching closer to a clinch of their own.
Into extra shooters as Thomas uses speed on the left wing to the inside. Forehands through the 5, only Stars!
The Toronto Marlies with a playoff clinch as well on Kids Day in overtime with Todd Crocker.
Now, Nylander drops it back. Torberg draws in, fires one, score! Ryan Torberg for the extra point. And the Marlies take home a 4-3 overtime win against the Utica Comets.
Utica isn't done yet. A standings point against the first-place Providence Bruins have them mathematically still alive with Joe Benson at the mic.
Didn't connect with the intended target. Legare, Billman with a steal. Knifing in. His shot, score! Josh Billman with a beautiful individual effort. Cutting from right to left.
But Rochester has almost sealed the deal and is closing in on a clinch of their own. And the Rochester Americans pulled out all the stops to honor legendary 40-year veteran broadcaster Don Stevens, whose great career comes to a close this season. Stevens was kicking back and enjoying the moment and an overtime win on his special night as Andrew Mossbrooks had the call.
Player getting back for Rochester, now a hold. One-on-one, make it 2-on-1. Costantini's in, left side, he's got Komarov chasing to the net front. Bounce on DiPietro, they score! Costantini in overtime!
Catch all the action of the final games of the regular season and the Calder Cup playoffs of the 90th year of the AHL on FloHockey.tv. I'm Bob Rotrug with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms in Allentown, Pennsylvania for the AHL Plays of the Week.
Coors Light presents To Chill
3 minutes.
or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Can't make the game, but still want to show your Penguin pride? Check out our official merchandise from the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins online team store. From stylish hats to licensed jerseys, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins team store is your go-to destination for all things Pens merch. Grab your gear before your size sells out. Visit WBSPenguins.com and open the Shop tab to score big with your favorite team.
Geisinger, the official healthcare provider for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, helps keep our players at the top of their game. Whether they get injured on the ice, need additional strength and endurance training, or are looking for help with pain management, the Penguins turn to Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. If Geisinger does all that for the Penguins, imagine what we can do for you. Learn more at geisinger.org/Medicare Advantage. That's geisinger.org/Medicare Advantage.
When the Penguins aren't on the ice, you can probably find them shopping at Ashley Furniture Home Store. Ashley Furniture Home Store offers a huge selection of sofas, dining rooms, bedrooms, accent pieces, and more. Options are available for pickup, in-store, or home delivery. Buy with confidence. Ashley Furniture Home Store. Visit them today. You'll find them located behind the Wyoming Valley Mall in Wilkes-Barre. Ashley Furniture, the best selection at the best prices.
One of life's greatest mysteries.
60 seconds.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees when used as directed. Spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
30 seconds.
I was just repeating the same patterns. It turns out I had a type.
Workplaces everywhere are looking for love. And by love, we mean the easy way to order food at work. Easy Cater.
I thought ordering from great restaurants at work had to be complicated, but then I met Easy Cater. So many options, so flexible, and when I ordered for 50 gluten-free vegans without
10 seconds.
Oh, I knew I'd found the platform I wanted to do life and lunch with.
Fall in love with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
You're up.
Well, we got the same score now that we had during our first Coors Light intermission report, which is a 1-0 lead for the Steamtown Gandy Dancers. Atlee Calvert strike back at 12:29 of the first period. Still the only goal in this one. Both teams trading power play chances to and fro throughout that second period, albeit it resulted in no special team scoring for either side. Yoel Blomqvist with a giant save, though, during that second period whenever Tate Singleton was sprung out of the penalty box, for a breakaway at 16:49 of that second period. Singleton pretty much pulled every trick that he had out of his bag of tricks, and Yoel Blomqvist wasn't fooled, never flinched, made the right pad stop to keep his team in this 1-0 lead. It's 18-18, the shots on goal, dead even through 40 minutes of play here at Mohegan Station. Penguins, there we go, I made it so far. Gandy Dancers are 0 for 4 on the power play here in this one, but they are 3 for 3 on the Price Chopper Market 32 penalty kill. All right, let's look at the out-of-town scoreboard. It's a busy night in the AHL. Of course, with our 6 p.m. puck drop, we're ahead of most teams, but Hartford still maintains its 3-1 lead on Springfield through 2. We already saw the Hershey Bears take down the Charlotte Checkers 2-1, which secures the Steamtown Gandy Dancers that number 2 seed and a bye past the best-of-3 opening round in the Calder Cup playoffs. Providence, the number 1 seed in the Atlantic Division, a spot that they clinched with that loss that the Gandy Dancers suffered on Thursday night. They're up 2-1 right now in the Rochester Americans through 1. Bridgeport can clinch its playoff berth tonight with a win at Lehigh Valley. They're tied 2-2 still with half the first period left to play. Utica knotted with Syracuse 1-1 late in the first. And Rockford leading the Western Conference, leading Grand Rapids Griffins 2-1 after 1. Pittsburgh lost 6-3 today to the Washington Capitals. The Wheeling Nailers up 3-1 through 1 against the Reading Royals. And the University of Denver has tied things up against Wisconsin in the NCAA National Championship game, 1 apiece. 1-0 for the Gandy Dancers. We'll be back with the third against Cleveland on WILK News Radio.
Geisinger, the official healthcare provider for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, helps keep our players at the top of their game. Whether they get injured on the ice, need additional strength and endurance training, or are looking for help with pain management, the Penguins turn to Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. If Geisinger does all that for the Penguins, imagine what we can do for you. Learn more at geisinger.org/Medicare Advantage. That's geisinger.org/Medicare Advantage.
Spring programs are now underway at the Toyota Sportsplex on Cole Street in Wilkes-Barre, just a few minutes from Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. Learn to skate and beginner hockey classes, figure skating, public skating, birthday parties, Penguins practices, and much more. There's something for everyone at the Toyota Sportsplex. Call them today at 570-208-9471 or visit toyotasportsplex.com for upcoming programs. The Toyota Sportsplex, where skating is fun again. Your business has a story to tell. Let Fast Signs of Wilkes-Barre help you tell it using the right mix of visual communication solutions like signs, banners, digital displays, vehicle graphics, web marketing, and so much more. Give Fast Signs of Wilkes-Barre your business challenge, and they'll come up with a plan to grow your business, reach more customers, and accomplish more than you ever thought possible. Fast Signs. More than fast, more than signs.
Local news, sports, and original programming stream right to your smart TV. Introducing the 2822 Now app, a new way to stream live 2822 news. Plus, exclusive programming like the Mahalashek Files and 2822 Sports Night. Powered by WBRE 28 and WYOU 22. It's everything you love, streaming right to your living room. Download the 2822 Now app on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV. Just search 2822 and start watching today. Sponsored by the Pocono Mountains.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can.
10 seconds.
To your ears already.
Wait, 30, sorry.
Chill.
All good.
Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
No time to cook? No problem. The Reheat Meat Meal Service is your chance to eat like the pros. Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins Executive Chef Steve Shepard is offering pre-made meals just like players eat. Each meal is prepared fresh and packaged for you to easily reheat and eat. All you have to do is order by Friday and pick up your meals the following
10 seconds.
Toyota Sportsplex in Wilkes-Barre. For more information and to place your Reheat Meat order now, visit WBSPenguins.com and open the shop tab.
You're up.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. 1-0. The Steamtown Gandy Dancers are up on the Cleveland Monsters with the start of this third period imminent. Shots even 18-18. Yoel Blomqvist 18-for-18 thus far in net for the Steamtown Gandy Dancers, whereas Zach Sawchenko has stopped 17 of 18 that have come his way. Cleveland without its leading scorer, Luca Del Bel Baluz, leads the team in goals, assists, and points, but is currently on a well-deserved NHL recall with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Steamtown down some serious weaponry as well, with Rucker McRorty, Joona Koppanen, Ville Koivunen all called up to Pittsburgh earlier this afternoon ahead of their matchup with the Washington Capitals. Avery Hayes has been up in the NHL for a little bit, maybe about a week at this point. Each game previously played between these two clubs was decided by 1 goal. An overtime win for Cleveland here in mid-February. A regulation win for the Steamtown Gandy Dancers, playing under a different name, on February 27th. That was one of those hard-working, yeoman-type wins by the Gandy Dancers. 3-2 final, with a game-winning goal by Aiden McDonough, their leading scorer, who is available to them tonight. And then Cleveland responded the next day with an overtime win. Narrow margin separates these two clubs as we start the third and final frame of regulation. Atlee Calvert, the lone goal scorer tonight for Steamtown. Sebastian Aho going to angle one off the boards to Boko Imama. Tried to lead Renwick onside, but stepping in the way is Dyson Mayo. Threads it up to Jack Williams, trying to get a lane around Finn Harding. Circumnavigating the Gandy Dancers end, thrust it to the point, and Mayo has a slapper that hit his skate and went wide. I think that bounced off of Pearson before dribbling to the post to the right of Yoel Blomqvist. Puck pitched out by Steamtown. Quick line change here for the Gandy Dancers is Barunik able to steal the puck away from Pearson with some help from Renwick. Meanwhile, Renwick lost his edge, falls backwards. Puck stays in the possession of the Gandy Dancers. Blomqvist reverses it behind his net, almost knocked away by Mikhail Puptia. Steamtown's had the puck for a while now, but having some real trouble here just escaping its zone. Bouncing puck now finally going to be reeled in by Cleveland as their try from the blue line gets blocked off the skates of Harrison Brunik. Tapped forth now by Gabe Clausen. Down the left wing, caught from behind by Corson Kuhlmans. At leads Gauntz, back towards the Gandy Dancer side of the ice. Gauntz spinning pass towards the slot, bounces away from Pinelli. Float pass by Alexiev, knocked out of the air by Svozil. Now it's dump and change time here for Cleveland's defense. Heaved ahead by Steamtown. Howe bounces one off the right side boards. Harvey Pinard slowed down by the sticky defense of Will Butcher. Pinelli collects one off the left side boards. Circles behind his back to Morelli. Sent to center, picked off by Huglin, and dumped right back into Monsters territory here. Minute 50 seconds played already here in this third period of play. Roman Ashon scurries his way blue line to blue line. Will dump and pursue it himself. One hands it over to the left corner. Now reversed back to Ashon. Steps outside the trapezoid to the right corner. Back to the point. Sillinger was standing there. Took a big hit there from Howe. Sillinger protected the puck for a little bit longer, but now is going to see it flushed back into the Monsters zone. Backtracking for it was Roman Ashon. Bouncer by Richard. Dribbles into the Gandy Dancer zone. Aho lost his stick coming back for it. Allows Ashon to pluck it up. Right point Richard over to the left. Slap shot. Hits the pads of Blomqvist. And Aho decks one of the Monsters right at the side of Blomqvist's net. They're going to call this another penalty against Steamtown, as there have been many a power play awarded to both sides in this one. 4-man advantages for Steamtown. Now the fourth power play going to Cleveland, and the second time that Aho has had to take a seat in this one for the Gandy Dancers. High sticking going to be called against the 30-year-old defenseman from Umeå, Sweden. Cleveland's power play entered tonight 17.5% on the season. A hair better than that in their previous 3 games against the Gandy Dancers, 18.2% in the season series. Pardon me, that's Cleveland's all-time power play. Once again, Steamtown has a great all-time record against the Monsters franchise, 22-6-5-0. Unbeaten in regulation on home ice, 13-0-2-0, but Cleveland did leave as the victors the last time that they were here. It's going to be a double minor for high sticking to Aho as well, so 4 minutes on the scoreboard for Cleveland's man advantage to work with. They came into this game 2 for 13 on the power play against the Gandy Dancers. Shot attempted by Cleveland, knocked away by the Gandy Dancers, and then shuttled down the ice by Atlee Calverts. Butcher trying to spearhead a breakout here for the Monsters. Slingshots it backwards to Mikhail Puftia. Puftia lost his balance at center. Gandy Dancers steal it away. A shorthanded rush with Calvert tailoring the mail. His shot blockered away by Sachenko. Trying to go upstairs to the short side, Atlee Calvert. Puck leaked away from the Monsters, dribbled out to Pickering, who, with a thunderous whip of the puck, sent that over the head of Sachenko off the back glass. 3:15 left here in this Price Chopper Market 32 penalty kill for Steamtown. There we go, we got that all straightened out here. McDonough, wrister from distance, glances off the blocker of Sachenko. Cleveland has allowed 8 shorthanded goals this season. And the Gandy Dancers are certainly giving them the full court press here in the early stages of this double minor for high sticking. Morelli trying to calm things down for his power play unit, will dump it in, but Alexiev, first one on it for Steamtown. Powers it out without breaking a sweat. Sillinger slices it backwards to Morelli. Now drop to Roland McCown. McCown cuts wide right, dumps it deep. Blomqvist sees it skip over his paddle, but gathered by Finn Harding, who finishes the job with another clear for the Gandy Dancers PK. 2:14 left in the double minor. McCown again. Passes over to the left side boards, fielded by a Sean, and then horseshoed over to the right side boards. Malatesta back and forth with Morelli. Now it's a Sean pushing it to the point. Morelli back to a Sean. Fed into the feet of Luca Morelli. Hit off of his skate. Bounced back to the neutral zone. Monsters going to regroup. Gandy Dancers, they're going to make a change. Ansons will go to the bench. Calvert joins Harvey Pinard. Usually it's Jona Koppanen and Raphael Harvey Pinard paired together on these penalty kills as forwards, but Atlee Calvert stepping into that spot, doing well so far. Puftia, right point to Butcher. Shot from the quarterback spot, hits the blocker of Blomqvist and goes over the boards. 1:32 left here in the Price Chopper Market 32 penalty kill for Steamtown. Blomqvist makes his 20th save of the evening with that denial of Will Butcher. Butcher's University of Denver Pioneers won in overtime against Michigan to punch their ticket to the national championship game. They were down 1-0 to Wisconsin. Denver scoring twice in the third to take a 2-1 lead. Keep half an eye on that one, and of course a keen eye on this continuing Monsters power play. Meanwhile, a pass across the Gandy Dancer zone got deflected over the boards and out of play into about the 8th row. They're over at section 103, but it looks like the fans are okay. One must always stay alert when attending a hockey game. And now you're going home with a souvenir. Face off at the left-hand side of the attacking zone for Cleveland. Stalemate on the draw at first, then eventually won back by the Monsters. Battling for it deep is Brendan Gaunce. However, it's going to be tapped away by Steamtown. Another shorthanded rush here for the Gandy Dancers. It's Clausen with it. Clausen working right to left, then passes back across the grain. Wanted Howe parked in front. Pass never made it through. Williams in the neutral zone. Bebops in front of the Gandy Dancers bench. Leaves it for Gaunce once he got across the blue line. 45 seconds still remaining in the power play for Cleveland. Pass to the side of the net. Backdoor feed. Wanted Gaunce. Blocked by the Gandy Dancers, but the clear wouldn't go. Butcher keeps things onside. Mika Pukia slashes it back to the point. Butcher then whisks it onto the tape of Luca Pinelli. 10 points in his last 10 games. Rendered to Butcher. Williams out of the left corner, back to the point. Pinelli's shot blocked in front, still rattles around the crease, eventually detected by Clausen, who's going to sweep it all the way down. 14 seconds until Aho is free. 13:38 remaining in the third period. McCown plugged up as he tried to creep across the Candy Dancers blue line. Crowd swelling now as they see Aho released from the brig. Steamtown back to 5-on-5. Meanwhile, bouncing puck trawled in by Sillinger, left at the left point. It's going to be Svozil combining with a teammate to swirl this around the attacking zone. Shot goes off the skate of Brunik and just ricocheted wide. Almost friendly fire there on Yoel Blomqvist. Now a tip by a Sean goes wide of the net. Brunik fed up the wall to Amama, not out again. It's going to be Brunik looking for a way out here. He's actually going to retreat in order to try and advance. Backpedaling away from McCown. Pickering finds an open man at center. That's Gallant. He thrusts this one down the board. Sawchenko can't quite tame it down. Pearson trying to slow down the oncoming pressure of Gabe Clausen, but Clausen gets it. He steers a backhander on net. Prompt kick save made there by Sawchenko. Heaved out of the Monsters' end by Cleveland. Trickling puck goes across the red line, but found again by Guillaume Richard. Rung around the Candy Dancer zone. Clausen trying to feed Gallant the other way. Stopped by Richard and fed right back behind the Steamtown net. Blomqvist stalls it there. Feed has no one on the receiving end. Fashion snatches it up. Shot thuds off the pads of Blomqvist from right at the side of the goal. Comes back to the high slot. Richard will drop it to his D partner Mayo. Mayo now with a high cycle to Fashing. His drive blocked by Gallant. Steamtown trying to clear it out. Meanwhile, Fashing and Gallant wrestle one another down to the ice. Slap shot. Richard blocked by Clausen. Gabe Clausen now is going to throw one into the air. Off the hands of Guillaume Richard. Stays in play. Penguins thought it went out. Now it is going to be ultimately deemed a hand pass against the Monsters. Not out of play necessarily. And yes, I know that is a nickel in the swear jar, but the Steamtown Candy Dancers are going to continue things against the Cleveland Monsters after this break. Still 1-0 for Steamtown on WILK News Radio.
30 seconds.
Recenter and reset this season at Woodhouse Spa, Wyoming Avenue in Kingston. At Woodhouse Spa, you'll discover one-of-a-kind, personalized treatments that are designed to help you relax and rebalance so you can handle anything life throws your way. Visit
10 seconds.
Spa on Wyoming Avenue in Kingston or kingston.woodhousespas.com to book an experience or purchase a gift card today.
You're up.
With Hershey beating the Charlotte Checkers earlier today, Steamtown is locked in to the 2 seed in the Atlantic Division. They cannot take the 1 spot away from Providence. They have already seized the Atlantic Division crown. But the Candy Dancers have a first-round bye, past the first round of the Calder Cup playoffs. They don't have to deal with the best of 3. It will be a best of 5 when they start this year's postseason run, the 21st time they have qualified for the Calder Cup playoffs in franchise history. Playoff packs are on sale now. Though we do not know who we are playing or when we are playing, we have to let those best of 3 series shake out to know who the matchup is going to be, when the dates are going to happen. But by purchasing a playoff pack, you guarantee that you will have your butt in a seat for every single home game that this team plays deep into the spring, maybe even early summer, if everything goes according to plan. Call 570-208-PENS for more information on playoff packs or to purchase your playoff pack, 570-208-PENS. Pass in front for Malatesta and another blocker stop by Yoel Blomqvist. This is an edge that Steamtown thinks they have over many teams in this playoff field, is their dual goaltending threat. Sergei Murashov, the backup tonight, and Yoel Blomqvist, he's been money this evening for the Steamtown Candy Dancers. 22 saves on 22 shots, as it's just a 1-0 lead for Steamtown after a first period goal by Atlee Calvert, set up by the rookie Daniel Russell, playing in his second pro game. Puck going to be heaved out by Cleveland. Pietila sees a touch pass find its way onto the stick of Aaron Hughlin, stops on a dime, now tucks it off the right boards back to Pietila. Pietila Button hooks away from Malatesta. Shovels a saucer pass over the stick of Owen Pickering. Foot race for it back in the Gandy Dancer zone. It's gone, sending one up high, and a shoulder save made by Blomqvist. Anson's calming things down behind the Steamtown net. They're going to be flushed out as bringing the heat there was Gaunt. Pietila able to get out of dodge. Dump in, goes off of Sawchenko. Now right corner, Calvert, first one on the loose puck. Swung from the right to the left. Aho jumps up and juts it down to Daniel Russell in the left corner. Russell being bullied a bit here by Corson Kuhlmans, but Russell not giving up. Takes an elbow right to the face. Russell falls backwards. Both teams have had 4 power plays in this game, but the Whistles stay pocketed after that one. We've reached the midway point of the third period. Botia chips it off the end boards. Harding gets in front of the intended recipient at the other side. That was Gauntz. Lifted into the air by Steamtown. Tracked down by Ansons, but lost it in his skates. Kuhlmans with it now for Cleveland. Behind the back pass, makes it over to Will Butcher. Onside are the Monsters. Lifted high into the air. Falls down in the right corner. Gallant spindles it up the boards. Renwick can't escape. Monsters pressure keeps Steamtown hemmed in their zone. Brunick throws a hard shoulder there into Pinelli. Gives Steamtown some room to work with. Imama trickles it across the blue line and going to be gathered again here by the Monsters defense. Singleton rebuffed right in front of that Gandy Dancers bench. Alex Alexiev with one leg over the wall trying to get back out here and rejoin the play. He's going to stay seated for the moment as now offside is going to be deemed against the Monsters. 9:15 left here in the third. Gandy Dancers still hanging on to a 1-0 lead. We'll be right back on WILK News Radio.
Hi, Wayne Vance.
60 seconds.
If you're looking for a diamond engagement ring, diamond earrings, diamond necklace, diamond bracelets, or any diamond item, you must come to Vanscoy's Diamond Mine on Monday Street in Wilkes-Barre. You'll see the largest selection, get the best price, and the fastest service. We offer layaway or 1-year interest-free financing. So shop where the Penguins shop. That's Vanscoy's Diamond Mine on Monday Street in Wilkes-Barre, just below the Wyoming Valley Mall. That's on Mundy Street. Mundy Street on Mundy Street.
Can't make the game, but still want to show your Penguin pride? Check out our official merchandise from the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins online team store. From stylish hats to licensed jerseys, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins team store is your go-to destination for all things Pens merch. Grab your
10 seconds.
Your size sells out. Visit WBSPenguins.com and open the shop tab to score big with your favorite team.
You're up.
The Residence Inn Wilkes-Barre Arena is located just steps away from us here at Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza, and the area's best all-suite hotel features fully equipped kitchens in every suite, a state-of-the-art fitness center, complimentary hot breakfast, indoor heated pool, even a 4-hole putting green for folks who want to stay at the preferred hotel of your Steamtown Gandy Dancers. That's the Residence Inn by Marriott. Briefly resume play, only to have the action stopped again. We're going to see a face-off, I believe, directly at center ice, as if we were starting a new period. Sillinger versus Huglin for possession. 9:10 left here in this third period with Steamtown clinging to a 1-0 lead. Butcher handles a dump in, stuffed it into the body of Harvey Pinard. Levy to the point. Pietila shakes around a defender. Shot saves Sawchenko, and Cleveland able to detect the rebound. Slammed off the glass. Back to the Steamtown end, but enough backspin on it that it dies before reaching the goal line for icing. Pietila now slaps one off the glass. Fielded at center by Howe. Huglin onside. Dropped to Raphael Harvey Pinard in the slot. Wants Howe. Bounces off of his stick, and Sawchenko swats it away from his crease. Howe still wreaking havoc atop that blue paint as Alexiev is going to roll from post to post behind the net. Alexiev pops out at the right-hand side, half wall. Passes down low for Howe from behind the net. Bottom of the left circle, McDonough weaves it back to the blue line. Brunick return to Aiden McDonough with some room. Toe drag shot, shoulder saved by Sawchenko. And a bouncer makes its way to the stick of Brunick at the blue line. Hughlin, McDonough, one-timer whizzes wide. Alexiev again resets to McDonough. Penguins leading scorer is going to horseshoe this one right to left around the offensive zone. Clausen given back to McDonough again. Eats a hit from Sillinger. Feeds Alexiev at the point. High cycle. It's Alian over to McDonough. He shoots and scores! You can hear it hit the post from all the way up I-81. McDonough brings down the hammer, and it's 2-0 for the Gandy Dancers. It just is a simple flick of the wrists, but it generates so much power. McDonough takes the pass from Alian, beats Sachenko past his blocker. Just like Daniel Russell before, Mikhail Alian is going to rack up his second assist in his second AHL game. And McDonough, after getting a couple cracks at it on the same shift, pots his 22nd goal of the season and gives some insurance to this Steamtown side. Monsters were already playing with a purpose. They come into the zone. Meanwhile, it's stolen away by Steamtown. Here's Russell with a try. That's stopped by Sachenko. And to see how Cleveland responds after giving up that second tally. Tested Blomqvist with some great opportunities throughout the course of this game. But Blomqvist had been ready for it every single time. McDonough announced as the goal scorer. Ilian gonna get the primary assist. And Alex Alexiev, Ilian's fellow Russian, gets the secondary help. Pietila slams a man against the boards. Meanwhile, pops in front for Cleveland, and Malatesta picks the corner. The response by the Monsters comes swift. They're back within one with 6:58 left to play. Both teams were threshing for it behind the Gandy Dancers net. Pietila threw a check in the left corner, but the puck stays alive for Cleveland, and it finds its way to the tape of James Malatesta. Lifts it to the opposite side, top corner. Blomqvist beaten for the first time this evening. It took 24 shots to save the Finnish netminder of the Steamtown Gandy Dancers, but Cleveland gets a timely goal after McDonough had put the Gandy Dancers up by 2. That lead now slashed back down to 1. Dumped in by the Monsters. Blomqvist out to play it. Harvey Pinard will lift it out of the defensive zone, but it looks like it went into the bench, so play quickly stopped. 6:46 remaining in regulation after just a few ticks of the clock leaked away here for the Cleveland Monsters. Trying to stage the comeback here just like they did against Rochester. It was a shootout loss for the Monsters this past Monday, but they scored twice with the extra attacker to force overtime. That's a 5v5 goal for Malatesta, and we will keep a close eye on Sachenko to see when head coach Trent Vogelhuber decides to take him to the bench for an extra attacker, but still likely plenty of minutes to be played before that decision gets made. Harvey Pinard backhands one to Howe. Try to return feed to Harvey Pinard, broken up, however, by Cleveland. Harvey Pinard still battling for it. Bouncer between the hash marks, knocked away from danger by Cleveland, held on side by Brunick as two Monsters collide in the neutral zone. Pearson lost his stick, now with new lumber in hand as some shoves exchanged in the left corner. Howe getting real nasty here with Kuhlmans, who was given a couple of cross checks to Aaron Hughlin. Referee comes in late. We got some penalties that are going to be handed out here. It's just a matter of how many. Play stopped with players still snarling at one another down in the Monsters zone. Kuhlmans gave Hughlin a couple extra whacks there, and then Tanner Howe jumped in. Two guys on the wrong side of the tracks, and it looks like Kuhlmans is going to the box by himself. So with 6 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, Steamtown is going to the power play for a 5th time in this game. And this is a crucial one for Steamtown. Can they find a pivotal power play goal to once again earn them an insurance marker? They win the faceoff. McDonough shoots, and he does it again! McDonough sends a missile through Sawchenko's 5-hole, and right on cue, it's the power play goal, and Steamtown leads 3-1. The clean face-off win by the Gandy Dancers. I think it was Calvert who dropped down to the ice to get maximum leverage. Just a little tap backwards, freed it up for Harvey Pinard, sent to McDonough, who had enough room to get the shot away clean. Sawchenko slowed it down, but it still had enough momentum to bounce across the goal line. McDonough with his 2nd goal of the game, 2nd of the 3rd period. Calvert's gonna get another point. Raphael Harvey Pinard will find himself on the score sheet, but the Monsters aren't going away quietly. They roar right back into the Steamtown zone. They got that goal from Malatesta less than a minute after McDonough gave Steamtown the 2-goal lead before. Now, from along the goal line, Gauntz sends one through the crease, out the other side, bounces back to the blue line. Mayo shot save, rebound, swung at by Malatesta, couldn't get a piece of it. Now Gauntz whistles one wide of the net. Malatesta in the slot, Putia drive, tipped wide by Gauntz. Reverse back towards the blue line. Mikhail Elian gonna step in the way and knock this one back between the blue lines. Intercepted by Clausen as Guillaume Richard tried to start the break-in. Clausen will dump it deep and change. Now 5 minutes remaining here in regulation. 27 shots for the Steamtown Gandy Dancers, 24 shots credited to the Cleveland Monsters. Steamtown came in it tonight knowing that a regulation win would ensure them the 2 seed in the bye that they wanted so badly, one of the goals they set for themselves. Hershey took care of business against Charlotte, meaning this doesn't matter, but Steamtown still coming out with that same gusto. Here's Russell with a shot, another save made by Sawchenko. Backhander by Calvert, twisted towards the net, kicked away by the Monsters' defense, as battling for it behind the goal is Atlee Calvert. Look at him put in a yeoman shift here for Steamtown. Anson's back there as well. 3 Monsters competing against 2 Gandy Dancers. Puck pressed flush up against the boards, killing some time for Cleveland. Meanwhile, Alexiev handles it at the blue line. Amama passes into the slot, but it handcuffed Ryvis Ansons. Latvian forward unable to get a piece of it. Now it's Morelli starting the breakout for Cleveland. Up to Pinelli, who elevates it into the air, falls down left corner. Alexiev quickly backhands it to Amama. Tied up along the boards by McCown. Stalled at the blue line by Cleveland. Mayo passes right. Big one-timer by Singleton. And Blomqvist makes the mask save. Right off the plastic gobbler that hangs off of his mask. Gandy Dancers knife it around the forecheck of the Monsters. Dumped in by Renwick. And Renwick continues to keep ticking. Battling for the puck in the left corner. Monsters pull it away, but Amama starts to throw his weight around. Rolling puck. Settled down by Bizo, pushed up to Stanislav Svozil. 3rd rounder by Columbus in 2021, dumps it deep. Lundqvist brings it around the boards, not out of the Gandy Dancers zone, however. That's going to require an extra effort from Aho and Gallant to heave it out of defensive territory for Steamtown. 3 minutes left in regulation. Sawchenko still in his crease for the moment. Harding up the wall. Held into the skates of Butcher, then stolen away by Raphael Harvey Pinard. Howe leads it up ice, missed Hughlin, bounces off the boards, then Putia will spindle one back out to the neutral zone, chopped away by Chase Pietola, handled now by McCown. Sawchenko still in his crease. The job not done yet for the Gandy Dancers. 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation against a team that scored twice with an extra attacker on Monday. Behind the back pass by Gauntz, knocked away by Harvey Pinard, flips it into the air towards the empty net, but not going to make it past the hash marks as Will Butcher was back there to field it. Rocketed in again by the Monsters. Right corner of the Steamtown zone. Pickering presses it up against the boards. Trying to excavate it is Pinelli. Knocked up the wall, now Gaunt's tied up by Raphael Harvey-Pinard. Harvey-Pinard slings it into the air, bounces back to center, Butcher on top of it once again. 1:57 left in the third period. 3-1 lead here for Steamtown. 2 third-period goals by Aiden McDonough. McDonough out here trying to defend this 2-goal lead. Shot from the point by Cleveland, tipped wide of the net, whacked back towards the slot, but Hughlin there, and he'll calmly pitch it back to center ice. Pinelli on the regroup, swats it over to the left, brought onside Sillinger. Gaunt's a try, that gets tipped into the air, goes screaming over the boards with 1:32 left here in regulation. Net still empty for Cleveland. One would have to assume a timeout is upcoming for Trent Vogelhuber and the Monsters. And that timeout is called. Kirk McDonald in recent weeks, when things have gotten squirrely for his team in third periods, has said we need to find ways to put teams away. Couldn't do so on Thursday. But now it came into this third period with just a narrow 1-goal lead over the Cleveland Monsters. They extended that lead to 2, saw Cleveland answer right back within a minute. But then a gotta-have-it power play, or perhaps crucial, paramount, more so than gotta-have-it, didn't last very long for Steamtown because Aiden McDonough tallies his second of the period 5 seconds into that man advantage. They're back up by 2 are the Gandy Dancers, and 92 seconds separate them from putting away the Cleveland Monsters. Steamtown trying to establish a season-high 8-game point streak. Face-off to the right of Yoel Blomqvist. It's won by the Gandy Dancers, but they're quickly pressured behind the net. Stolen away from Alexiev. Bounces in front. Alexiev will knock it away from Gauntz. Played across the blue line by Harvey-Pinard. Calvert looking at the empty net. His backhander hits the side of the cage. But Harvey-Pinard hustles right after it. Floats it in front. McDonough gonna knock down a roller. Plays it to the blue line. Harrison Brunick dances around one defender, but then his shot blocked by Mikhail Putia. And McDonough is on hat-trick watch here for Steamtown. Has 1 hat-trick in his AHL career. It came in this building as a visitor. Now it's Harvey-Pinard looking at the empty net. Butcher got a piece of it, swatting it out of midair and ultimately steering it wide of the far post. 50 seconds left. Monsters back on side, but Putia toe picks. Off the glass goes Brunick. Through center ice, through the Monster zone. Icing called here against Steamtown. Exactly 40 seconds remaining in regulation. The 2 seed is locked in for the Gandy Dancers. But they're trying to lock in what would be their 44th win of the year. An 8-game point streak and a 4-game win streak here at home. Another clean face-off win for Steamtown. That was Anson's getting the job done. Angled back to center by Howe. McHow regrouping for Cleveland, shuttles it in, stopped behind the net by Blomqvist. Thought about shooting for the empty net, but with one of the Monsters coming right into his grill, he got it over to a teammate. Gandy Dancers missed the empty net wide once again. Icing called with 20.8 remaining. We've had some close calls in recent home games for the Gandy Dancers. Sergei Murashov, in each of his last 2 home starts, tried shooting for an empty net. Both of his attempts never made it past the blue line. Yoel Blomqvist considered it for a moment. You could see him look for it, but there were 3 white jerseys right in front of him, and he made the safe decision there. Ozone draw, won by Cleveland. Slap shot, kick save, Blomqvist. Howe makes a nice move around Pinelli. Gains the red line, lifts it into the air, and scores! Tanner Howe gave the puck an express ticket into the empty net, and it's 4-1 Steamtown with 11.6 left to play. The final score is going to make it look like this was an easy cruise to victory for the Gandy Dancers. But make no mistake, this was a blue-collar effort. It did not come easy. And even when things started well with an opening goal in the first period, This required hard work, sweat, rolling up their sleeves and going to work to get the job done. Well, that's what Gandy dancers do. Steamtown celebrates at the sound of the final buzzer, a 4-1 triumph over the Cleveland Monsters. Yoel Blomqvist surrounded by his fellow worksmen around the crease after his stellar 25-save effort is going to help get things done here against the Cleveland Monsters. And the Gandy Dancers see their record on the year improve to 44, 16, 7-2, 97 points. They've got that bye, baby. No best of 3 this year. It'll be a best of 5 for the Steamtown Gandy Dancers whenever that first series in the Calder Cup playoffs rolls around. Still 3 games left in the regular season before the playoffs come back to Northeast Pennsylvania. All 3 home games happening here on home ice, nonetheless, too, where this club has won 4 straight at home and a season-high 8-game point streak as well. Your final score, once again, 4-1. A big third period by Aiden McDonough. A little bit of extra insurance from Tanner Howe. The newcomers, Daniel Russell and Mikhail Alian, continue to make impacts on the score sheet. And the Monsters will be leaving Northeast Pennsylvania again without a regulation win. Now 14-0, 2-0 all-time at home against the Monsters. The Steamtown Gandy Dancers are the victors. We got more stats, facts, and more information to break down on the upcoming Steamtown Gandy Dancers post-game show. Highlights coming your way after the break on WILK News Radio.
Coors Light presents
2 minutes.
Or Not to Chill.
I got all the goals.
Your favorite song.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. All the goals.